The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
Hey, this is Greg Buttle, and you're listening to The Michael K. Show on 98.7 ESPN. That's right. It used to be The Buttle Show, but now it's The K Show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. The date is Thursday. It's July 27th. It's 2023, and we are on the road. This is an OTR show at Jets training camp.
Oh, yeah.
At Florham Park, the beautiful Atlantic Health Center. And we're locked and loaded for a big show.
I want to pull a Al Troutwig.
Oh.
And get an egg and just put it out in the parking lot and see it fry like they did in Kansas City back in the day.
Yeah,
hot.
I don't really make a lot of good decisions. And Don says, I don't swing it around much.
This is the 12th time in 20 years he swung it.
But on Monday 21. They're talking. We have you on the roof that overlooks I said, no, that's not going to work. And they said, why? I said, it's a real feel of 105.
Wait, they had us on a roof?
On the roof, yeah, of the training center.
We were last year.
Oh, yeah, that little side area.
I said, the Yes cameras will melt, and they'll shut down, or one of us will shut down and have a massive stroke. It has to be indoors. Although, so they actually listened to me.
I woke up this morning thinking we were outside today. I was in such a bad mood about it. And I sent a text, and John Winthrop, our pinhead suit, takes all the credit.
Right, and then what did I do?
He goes, I made that call on Tuesday.
Oh,
5 minutes later.
Ask him what I did.
5 minutes later, though, Kay texts me on the side and says, I made that call.
Of course. Well, he deserved to get credit for it.
He did.
Right. John didn't even think about the fact that one of us would die.
Because John was telling us in one of the meetings while you were away, it was Friday, going over what we're going to be doing for the for next week's show and all that, and talking about it. Well, it's going to be really hot. But if it rains, you'll go in, but otherwise you'll be outside. Michael's like, no, we're going to go inside. And then let Megan from the Jets, and she said, well, you guys, as long as it doesn't rain, you'll be outside. Michael's like, no, we are going to be inside.
Like a lasso.
Yeah, now, again, you're Ted 21 years, July 15th, 21 years on the show. There's been maybe a dozen times he swung it. This was the one time, and boy, did he connect.
Well, I mean, especially when you see that temperature today.
Right. I think it was a very wise choice.
Look at the heat index going and everything.
Yeah.
What a great job by you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Anyway, we are here at Jet Camp.
Sure.
We'll talk about everything that's going on in the world of sports, but there's a big story out there, and we'll address it with our guest as well. Sports Illustrated, Jared Bell, sat down and had a one-on-one interview with Sean Payton, the new head coach of the Denver Broncos, and Sean Payton did something that coaches don't do to other coaches. He called out another coach in really distressing way. Nathaniel Hackett, who was the coach of the Broncos last year, and now he's the offensive coordinator of the Jets. He said that Russell Wilson was all messed up. It was the worst coaching he'd ever seen in 20 years. Then he went on to say that, you watch with the Jets. I've seen it before. I've seen it with other teams. Hard Knocks, all the publicity that they're getting, it'll catch up to them. They're not going to be able to live up to that. It's not a smart thing to try to put a team together like that. Little odd that a coach would do that.
It is. You're not supposed to talk. First of all, it's kind of an unwritten rule. You don't talk about the previous regime.
Right.
And you certainly don't, in the coaching fraternity, start ripping other coaches, because you never know when you might need him or in some way, shape, or form. I know Sean Payton thinks he's on his way to the Hall of Fame, and maybe he is. I think he's an outstanding coach, but you don't know when you're going to cross paths with Nathaniel Hackett, or who knows, you might one day want to be head coach of the Jets. It doesn't seem like that would be the case, but you never know how things are going to change. But was he wrong? Absolutely. But the strategy of supporting Russell Wilson, I think, was his endgame. He went scorched earth because he is trying to set up.
Oh, you better get it right.
This is all the reasons why Russell Wilson failed, because he knows he's got no shot unless you get some kind of semblance of what Russell Wilson was in Seattle. I think that's the strategy. Peter, you're right. It could blow up in his face, because if Russell Wilson's really done, then what did he do? But I think everybody in that room, especially Russell Wilson, appreciates it, because that's what he was trying to do.
But now, here, there's something he also fundamentally got wrong that I just thought was stupid. He compared the Jets to the 2000 Redskins. and said when he was an assistant for the Giants, he said, I remember what they did in Washington. They brought in Deion Sanders. They brought in Irving Fryer. They did
Bruce Smith.
The Jets didn't do that at all.
No, they brought in one guy.
The Jets brought in a quarterback.
They brought in a couple of guys.
But the other pieces they brought in,
right?
Those are like little things to make Aaron Rodgers.
They had a foundation.
Yeah, they didn't go
that. Yeah.
The team he compared them to they went out and did a shopping spree on over-the-hill stars.
Right.
That's not what the Jets got one aging star at the quarterback position. It's a terrible comp.
And the other misconception about the Jets, and I think they need to be defended here, this is not Tim Tebow revisited. Tim Tebow was brought here for the sole purpose of garnering attention on the Jets. That's what Rex wanted. He wanted people to pay attention. And he knew that SportsCenter would be doing hits up in Cortland because Tim Tebow was a god among people in football, every place except New York. This is not a PR move by the Jets. This is a move. They needed a quarterback. They got one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the game. He happens to be 40 years old, but it's a position where a 40-year-old could excel. This has nothing to do with the 2000 Redskins. Bruce Smith was 37. He was done. Deion Sanders was 33. He was done. Irving Fryer was 38. He was done. They don't believe Aaron Rodgers is done. So this wasn't a PR move. This is to make this football team better. And the attention that they've gotten is because of Aaron Rodgers. And they're not talking Super Bowl. They're not the ones that are asking for the attention. Everybody's coming to see Aaron Rodgers.
I think this is all actually starting to work in Robert Saleh's favor. The last few weeks, I don't know if you guys noticed, the amount of hate that appears to be rolling this team's way.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost as if the Jets became the hot, sexy pick for like 10 seconds. And then just as soon as they became the it team, they became, you can add an S in front of the hit team. And that's what they've become. Or an SH, I should say, in front of the it team. Because that's what they've become. And they're now under attack from everybody, it seems. And I really think that's kind of what Robert Saleh likes.
Well, wait till they sign Dalvin Cook, which could happen at any moment. And then what's going to happen? Well, it's the same reason why the Nets were hated. It's the same reason why any super team, because that's what you're kind of building here, right?
But it's not that. It really was one piece. I mean, that is Dalvin Cook.
It's pretty significant.
You had Dalvin Cook.
Lazard,
that's
Cobb.
Yeah, those are.
No, I won't play the game with Lazard and Cobb. Lazard's a nice player. Cobb is an aging vet who's a security blanket for Rodgers and a great locker room leader guy. But these aren't. Dalvin Cook would be the first real big guy they go get after Rodgers.
A big guy.
Go look at.
It's not Cobb.
Listen, I don't want to diss the man while I'm sitting at Jets training camp. Lazard's a nice player, but if you go pull up his stats right now, you're not going to.
Yeah, if Zach Wilson was still the quarterback of this team, we wouldn't
think the team changed because they got Lazard.
Now, one more thing about Peyton. First of all, his mentor, Bill Parcells. Parcells would never do something like this. Number two, I mean, glass houses. When the guy gets suspended for a year, bounty gate, you're going to kill another coach? You got suspended for a year. That doesn't happen to people. So this is he's supposedly a very likable guy. I think we might have had him on once at a Super Bowl show. He's a nice guy, but that doesn't make sense. So you're putting all of it, and the Jets play the Broncos at the beginning of October in Denver. That would be very, very interesting. But to take down Nathaniel Hackett like that doesn't quite make sense.
Listen, I might be wrong. And I'm fine with it because, frankly, no one cares in our business if you get something completely wrong anyway. I think Sean Payton's going to prove to be one of the most overpaid coach hirings of all time. Well, first of all, he's already the highest paid coach of all time, right?
Yeah.
His contract's absolutely insane. He has one Super Bowl. He had a Hall of Fame quarterback who played in a dome dominantly for a very, very long time. Everyone now is so sure that he's going to go to Denver, where they were an absolute wreck last season, although, let's be real, they did already have an incredible defense in place. So he's coming there now, and he's supposed to be the guy who fixes Russell Wilson. He better fix Russell Wilson, or how quickly will the entire public turn on him? He does not have a long leash. He needs to get this right, and now you're talking trash about the last regime and about he just started two beefs at one time. It makes no sense.
Now, another thing that we should really address, and Don and I touched on it last show a bit. I mean, what Aaron Rodgers did yesterday is kind of startling. Now, I'm still not convinced that he actually gave away $35 million. I'm sure that there's some cap trickery where he's going to end up making it back. But let's just take it at face value. He gave up $35 million to give the Jets more maneuverability and more spendability, maybe to pick up a guy like Randall Cobb. $35 million in one offseason. What the Jets have become is the cool team. They're the it team. The Jets have not been the it team. As you said, there were 2 other letters in front of them before that. They have been an abomination for a couple of decades now. And this guy has turned them into a place where great players want to play. Everybody from the national media is here all the time. He has changed the whole vibe around this team. How many people have done that? I look at this. If he could win a Super Bowl with the Jets, I think it could be bigger than Messier winning a Stanley Cup with the Rangers.
Oh, well, I mean, no offense. It would 100% would be, because football's a bigger thing.
Right.
The Jets are a huge team.
And the Jets have been worse than the Rangers were, because even though the Rangers didn't win a cup, they were not a laughing stock.
No.
The Jets with the butt fumble and all that, they were a laughing stock.
There's a few things at play here. Number one, I thought RG3 had a great tweet earlier today when he's like, everybody in that room is going to want to run through a wall for this guy, the financial sacrifice that he made. So it's strategic on Aaron's part too. Listen, he didn't have really any options. He could have stayed in Green Bay, made a ton of money. Wasn't going to win a Super Bowl in Green Bay, and he didn't really have any other place to go. He wasn't going to go to San Francisco. This is the one place he can go. The team has weapons. The team has a legitimate shot to win, and they now have even more of a shot to win because he sacrificed some money. He wants that second title. Do you know how big that is? We were just talking about Drew Brees. Drew Brees will never be compared to a Manning or a Brady because he's only got the one. To get the second one, now you're in that room. Now you're in the room with the true greats of all time to be able to get that second ring. He understands that. And to slay the dragon, as you said, Michael, he'll be a god forever. Even comparing him to Messier, and I do believe he'd blow by Messier, but even being the fourth sport, everybody knows Mark Messier. Everybody's going to know Aaron Rodgers. It's going to be a big deal. So he wants to win, and he's doing everything he can to do it. That's why I told you guys earlier, he's not going to mess this up by saying something controversial and mess it up. He's done all the right things. Every single move has been perfect since he got here because he wants to get that ring, and Jet fans should be over the moon about that.
Here's the question, though. Does Rodgers need it for his legacy more than Messier did?
No.
Or did Messier need it without Gretzky? He needed to prove he could do it.
He won without Gretzky.
He won the year.
He already won without Gretzky. So he already has multiple championships when he came here.
Right.
He didn't really need it.
He had 5 and 1 without Gretzky.
Right. The Rangers really needed it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, because they, 1940.
But Messier benefited from it.
Yeah, because
as a god.
He's still a god all these years later.
For Rodgers to win one at this stage in his career with this team, a team that's been this bad, that exists in this market, guys, the one ring would almost be worth 2.
No.
It's not even like one ring.
It would be huge. Now, I don't even think it's a negative. It's just an absolute fact. Because of this move and because of everything you've done to bring him here and wanting him to stay beyond this year, he has the ability to run this team. He just sacrificed all that money. You don't think he's going to want to say where that money goes? He already has had a say on Cobb and Lazard being here. So some power is being, if you're Joe Douglas, you are kind of forfeiting some power to Aaron Rodgers. It's the absolute right thing to do. But this move does tell you that this is his team, but not just on the field, but off the field.
But didn't they probably make that decision right after they flew out there the first time?
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah, well, this is what we're going to do.
Just like Tampa Bay did with Tom Brady.
I don't think that meeting in California had anything to do with him coming to the Jets. It had everything to do with what was going to happen once he came here. They knew they were getting him. That's why I told you there was no chance that this wasn't going to happen. It was just a matter of the logistics. And now, do you even care about the first-round pick?
Now that he stays 2 or 3 years.
With all the money, the cap space that you've created, the fact that he wants to stay a second year, are you even worried about that first pick?
No, it's just the vibe you're getting here in camp. We've all been here about 3 hours now, and I mean, everybody's talking about this guy. It's almost too good to be true. The way he treats his teammates, he's the guy.
I was at practice. Sweltering, by the way.
Yeah.
So I got here early, and
the black shirt was a good idea.
I don't even think about that stuff, really.
Okay, well,
he's above it.
Yeah.
I mean, what would I have? What would I have gained?
Black attracts heat.
Yeah, but I'm surrounded by heat. I'm not getting away from it.
You can't hide it. You can't.
If you wear a white shirt, you're going to feel cooler than
I don't
you
know.
wear a black shirt.
There are a couple degrees, sure.
No.
Anyway, I interrupt.
So what?
Please go on.
They added behind if you went to Florham Park and you go all the way to the back football field, they added an entire grandstand behind the end zone. And then the one that was already alongside the field they had last year, they've doubled it in size. The place was packed. chanting Jets, 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 Jets. At practice, it's 100 degrees outside. The fans are completely engaged. It's been a great fan base to begin with anyway. But you talk about the vibe around this team. I haven't sensed anything like it since Rex, when they went to the back-to-back championship games. And that was based upon actually seeing success.
Right.
Like in 2010, 2011, well, in 2010, they went to the championship game of the year before. In 2011, they had gone to back-to-back championship games. This team hasn't done anything yet.
This team,
and yet it's amazing.
It's such a popular place now. When Don got here for practice, he actually had a park in Cortland where the Jets used to train.
Is that true?
And took a shuttle. I mean, there were no spaces.
And by the way, and Rodgers, I thought it was unbelievable. Not only is he here leading this team, exciting this fan base, they have this delicious crusted cod. He served the meal for
That's amazing. And he cooked it.
The fact that he's out there actually shoveling cod, not what you expected.
Shoveling cod. Title of his 8th book, right?
Got the shovel cod.
Anyway, it's game time. Brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Liberty in the Dream tonight, and the Mets start a really important 4-game set against the Nationals at Citi Field tonight.
Oh, please.
So, what do you mean, oh, please?
Important for who?
For the Mets, they have to win 4 in a row.
Oh, okay.
If you're going to run the table, the first game is important, right?
I'm on vacation. I've been gone forever. I looked up. Nothing has changed. They're the exact same.
No, the only thing that's changed. Here's the thing.
The other teams are coming back to them.
The next 7 games.
Okay.
4 against Washington, 3 against Kansas City.
You got to win at least 6.
If you go 6-1 or run the table,
Hold on.
if you run the table,
They're in business.
then you're 500 club, and then you can start talking. Now I'll believe it when I see it. But like I said to Michael before, there's 2 things. I don't believe it's going to happen, but I do believe there's an avenue now. But they've got to take
I
advantage.
got him to that.
You got him to
Yeah,
Avenue?
I got him to
Oh, it's
Avenue.
funny.
Yeah. He's not traveling down the Avenue, but I got him to Avenue.
There's a lot of crack being sold on that avenue, a lot of potholes, a lot of homeless.
Yeah,
Cod.
But
you can't get down the
shoveling
avenue.
cod.
Right.
Well, that's game time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. During the big games this season, enjoy a Tullamore Dew, the original triple blended, triple distilled, and triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Remember, when it's game time, it's Tully time. Please enjoy responsibly. We'll talk to Coach Sala a little bit later on, I believe in the 5 o'clock hour, so that'll be good. Quinnen Williams will join us. Sauce Gardner will join us. Randall Cobb will join us coming up at 3 o'clock. DJ Reed, one of the more underappreciated players in the NFL. So before we even take a break, we're going to have a lot of interviews today. Let's take some phone calls. Let's go to John in New Jersey. John, talk to us, babe.
Hey, yeah, I just thought it was interesting that, Peyton's gone after Hackett when we just went through this offseason about Rodgers, talking up Hackett. So, he's coming after Hackett, but he's also kind of coming after Rodgers' guy. So that's pretty interesting.
That's not a bad take at all, John, and that's why I'm really intrigued by what's going to happen in Denver when the Jets go there, because players hold grudges, and if you think that Peyton dissed your guy, you don't have to think that he did, then you're going to want to put up a big number on them.
But true, but he was evaluating him as a head coach, and that was a terrible year in Denver. All
True.
Right? It was he did an awful job. I mean, we opened a show in New York about how awful a job he did in one of the games they had last year. But nobody's ever questioned him as an offensive coordinator. He wasn't going after him as an OC. He was going after him as a head coach.
Well,
and he wasn't a good head coach.
But he's going after
Right.
Well,
No, I'm not defending him doing it. He said it because he wanted to. He wants everybody to believe that Hackett and the attention and the way the organization was run was the reason Russell Wilson.
Right. He doesn't want Russell Wilson to think that Russell Wilson's finished. He wants to build up Russell Wilson
at
the expense of somebody else.
But there's strategy behind it.
Let's go to JR in New Jersey. JR.
Hey guys, how you doing today? Thank you for having me on.
You got us.
I just wanted to talk a little about, Aaron Rodgers coming in. He dropped the contract. He's showing the commitment. He's going to come in here. We can talk about what Messier did for the Rangers, but for a man to come in here and bring the Jets a championship, this guy would truly be a god. And the way that he's going about handling himself, I think he's really showing the leadership that the Jets need. And he's showing that he's going to commit and that he's going to really try to make this happen. And it'd be a great situation for the whole tri-state area. I'd also like to just throw in real quick, Caniglia's Pizza. Go get it. It's the best in New Jersey.
Where is it? Right here? Is it near here?
Right in town. It's right in town.
Caniglia's.
Old World.
All right.
It's
Right.
right
We can even order it now.
Yeah, I'm sure they know the address.
Yeah.
One Jetway is, I'm sure,
One
in their
Jetway.
Rolodex.
I can't eat pizza.
Why not?
I've
What
been a
sense?
fat pig for 3 weeks.
Well, then
straight.
get fatter.
So-
Be more of a pig.
I can't, especially after the other night.
You're shoveling cod in your mouth like, they're running out of it in the water. Well, I mean, we can't have pizza?
Well, cod is healthy.
Okay, not if you eat like 15 pieces
I
of
didn't
it.
eat 15.
Oh,
No,
you never
God.
stopped. There was
I don't even know if there were 15 pieces out there.
Well,
Now,
but he had them. That's why.
I had broccoli and a half a piece of cod. And this
Half a
guy's
piece of cod.
Now, I will say, after the pitch in CC Sabathia's softball game the other day, I was in the Bronx.
There was a softball game?
Yeah.
I wasn't asked.
Really?
Interesting.
I
Were
find
you,
that-
Don?
No, I think I'm collateral damage for your
Yeah.
relationship with CC.
No, there is no relationship.
Well, I'm just, yeah,
That's the
guilt
collateral
by association.
Exactly. So afterwards, though, I was with some friends.
Right.
And we decided to go to Enzo's on Arthur Avenue.
Very good. Unzo's is so good.
God,
You make
shout out to
chicken
those
parm,
guys.
You start to cry.
I had the eggplant parm.
Of course, because you're healthy.
Why?
One teardrop.
Really?
Just went down.
Who eats eggplant?
Guys that think that they're going to lose weight.
Who wants to eat meat that grows?
I know you feel that way. I prefer eggplant parm to chicken parm.
Well, you know what?
I think chicken parm tastes kind of generic.
You're an ass.
With you. Yeah.
And,
You
and
know
by the
what?
way,
Thank you. He is.
And it wasn't just that though. Everything we had was delightful. The tiramisu to die for.
Yeah.
The cheesecake.
Sounds like somebody who got free food.
You didn't get it for free, did you?
No. You want the honest truth?
Yes.
Gave you dessert for free.
Gave us dessert.
Okay.
And they were fantastic. Shout out to Jimmy at Enzo's. It was what a time it was. My first time eating on
What a
Arthur
time to
Ave.
be alive, right?
I said I'm in Michael K's stomping ground
Arthur
here.
Ave is unbelievable.
It really
The
is.
Restaurants there. If you want the best bread, the best mozzarella, that's where you go.
But, aren't you from Arthur Ave, Jays?
No.
What average?
Fordham is like right across the street.
Oh, so it's your stomping days, your stomping grounds at Fordham.
No, at Fordham I didn't have any money to go to Arthur Avenue, but since I've been able to come into some money, that's where I go all
Is
the
Arthur
time.
Avenue that expensive a
No,
place?
well, when you're a poor
when you're
student,
poor.
you are.
Right.
You go to Pugsley's Pizza.
Right.
I guess you're right.
Oh, did you hear Anthony?
Anthony, you love some Pugsley's pizza?
Pugsley's is the best.
That's part of the diploma at Fordham.
Really?
You eat a Pug-
Made out of Pugsley's.
Yeah. Scott in New Brunswick. Scotty.
Hey, what's up, Michael and the guys? How y'all doing?
Good.
How
How
are
about
you?
you?
Good. Listen, the main thing I want to talk about is people like Sean Payton. I heard something from Louis Riddick about a week ago. Everyone is telling the Jets, you know what, just play and shut up, stop the talking. Guess what? They're not talking. Nobody on the Jets is talking.
Nope.
It's the media.
You're right.
So for Sean, for Sean Payton to run his mouth, I mean, he's the one that took a job with an aging quarterback. Yeah, I think Hackett was a horrible coach last year, but Russell Wilson was just god-awful last year, god-awful. And I'm just sick of hearing everybody tell the Jets to shut up and stop talking when you know it's not them. You want to run your mouths? Okay, watch. Just like Salah said, they'll see you in week 5.
Yeah, this was the Jets want to be better. This is not an attention grabber. They needed a quarterback, and they went and got the best available quarterback. Maybe one of the best that's ever played the sport. This is not Tim Tebow revisited. This is trying to be a better football team. And the attention is on Rodgers, and they're following it. But I'm not hearing any talk, Michael, at all. We'll talk to the players later on, but I'm not getting that Rex Ryan vibe guaranteeing Super Bowl. This is not Rex and Tebow revisited. It's not.
Let's go to Jose and Patterson. Jose,
What's up?
Hey, guys.
what's up?
How's that heat out there?
Oh, it's unbelievable.
So that's why we're inside.
Listen, guys, 2 quick things. First off, guys, I've called before. I'm a hardcore Jets fan. Aaron Rodgers, he wins one here. He's in top 5 conversation. I'm sorry. The one with the Jets.
He's already there.
He's probably
He's
already.
there, Jose.
He's there, buddy.
He's there. He might be in
He could be top 3, top 3.
But I do
too.
agree there is something special about getting that second one, especially with another team
Oh, I
playing
agree.
the Dragon, for sure.
If he gets it with the Jets, as long as it's been over 50 years, it'll be like, the man becomes a god, like you guys said. You guys stole all my thunder today. But
Darn
the
it.
second point, as far as Sean Payton goes, this guy was the leader of the headhunters over there. Like, what is he doing? Why would you want to say something to put yourself in the spotlight again? Like, okay, now it's our turn to go to Denver. I feel sorry. You know what they are, guys? I'm stealing some of you guys' favorite words. They're both D-nozzle. You got Russell, who's been known to be a D-nozzle, and you got Sean Payton, who's a D-nozzle. That makes a great D-nozzle combo that we're going to go down there and destroy. Thanks, guys.
You know, it's funny because Peter didn't mention that's what he had at Enzo's too, the D-nozzle combo.
Oh, I love that combo.
It's really, really good. Anyway, when we come back, we're going to have our first guest. DJ Reed's going to join us, quarterback from the Jets. So please stick around. Having a good time here at Jets Camp at Florham Park, the Atlantic Health Center. It's Kayla, Gregor, Rosenberg, and you on Yes and on 98.7 ESPN.
Everything you love.
I'm cooking without a recipe. I now have a signature cocktail. It's not a drink, it's an adventure. I'm giving a charming impromptu toast. I'm discussing astrophysics in a casual conversation. What? Surprise.
Blame it on Masterclass. Learn from the best to become your best with thousands of online lessons. Now just $10 a month.
Having those high interest credit cards, it felt unmanageable. My name is Belinda, and with Upstart, I was able to save money with a personal loan. From the moment that I checked my rate to getting that approval was just a few minutes. I felt relieved having the funds in my account so quickly. I was able to turn all of those, big payments into one small payment, and I was able to breathe.
Easy online borrowing. Personal loans up to $50,000. Go to Upstart.com.
Good morning, you, and you. For the you who wakes up with a pile. Away luggage brings you color and style. For the you who must navigate what life reveals. Away suitcases have 360-degree wheels. Our luggage and bags fit together and are built to last through whatever. Keeping things easy for all of the yous, so you can take in all of the views. Ready for everywhere. Away.
Basketball show. Folks, the league is in absolute chaos. Players going off pretty much every other night. Playing picture that, when it clears, could leave a few future Hall of Famers. It might all come down to some rookie taking free throws. Is on pace to break the all. The Athletic. Subscribe today.
All right, here we go. It's a big responsibility to be a designer. Dagny Dover is a bag brand based in New York City, founded by 3 women. We make hyper-functional, performance-driven bags. That's like a mouthful. We're all about getting the most out of life. When you're organized and you have your things together, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can live life intentionally. Oh, it's pronounced Dagny Dover. Dagny means new dawn. It's a new dawn for fashion.
Your brain is an amazing thing, but as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. In clinical trials, Prevagen has been shown to improve memory. Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription.
Our idea of the perfect day? You, your best friend.
Yeah, buddy. You ready to run?
And Quattro all-wheel drive. Own the elements in the Audi Q5.
Let's go, buddy.
Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
Life is hard, but you guys have to work harder. Okay? No, I do not do it. My name is O'Neal Trinidad, and I want to live.
Within 15 seconds of logging onto social media, the algorithm has your daughter in its crosshairs. It sends her a steady flow of images telling her she isn't thin enough, pretty enough. They invade her brain, causing body dysmorphia, anxiety, depression, leading to the worst rates of eating disorders, self-harm, and suicide we have ever known. All while she's sitting right next to you on her phone. Congress knows, but it refuses to act. Don't let her suffer the secret pain alone. Use your voice. Demand a plan. Join us at the Center for Countering Digital Hate, protectingkidsonline.org, because it's up to you to protect your children from social media nightmares. Join us for her, for your daughter.
Get your heart pumping with Well Life NYC on the Yes app. Take a tour of the hottest gyms.
I love to have fun when I work out.
And the coolest places to chill around New York.
First, I'm going to be freezing at negative 200 degrees.
Watch Well Life NYC, streaming now exclusively on the Yes app.
Welcome back to the Michael K. Show, everybody. Coming to you from the Jets training camp here at Forum Park. Michael K., Don LaGreca, Peter Rosenberg, and DJ Reed joins us now here at Jet Camp. DJ, thanks for dropping by.
Oh, yeah. Grateful to be here, man. What's up?
Now, should we be as excited as everybody is about this team? Are you as excited as everybody is about this team?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the hype is real. It's definitely real. It's not fabricated. You know, Aaron Rodgers is the real deal. Going against him at practice. You know, he's one of those few quarterbacks that can throw people open. He understands coverages, very smart, and he just motivates everybody, even on defense. Like, we feel like we're getting better because we're going against him. Garrett Wilson has took another step from this year to last year. Definitely has superstar ability and the potential to be a superstar in this league. And then, obviously, Sauce, you know, first-team All-Pro last year. He's building off, having a great training camp. So, yeah, just overall, like on offense, defense, special teams, the hype is real.
Why will this defense be better than last year?
I would say just because everybody has another year under their belt. You know, we still got to go out there and do it. But now we're, you know, focusing on more detailed stuff compared to last year. We're just keeping the main thing. Now we're working on, like, the small details and just sharpening that up. But, yeah, I feel like we're going to be better than last year.
Do you feel that your Jets defense got the credit last year? Because locally, I think we all really took this defense seriously and knew that in spite of the fact that it was an offense that struggled quite a bit, you guys could have easily been a playoff team because of that defense. Do you feel nationally this defense gotten the recognition?
You know, I don't agree. I don't feel like we have, but that's fine because we get to go out there and prove it. And, yeah, I think Madden had us like number 9 or something like that. But, you know, we were a top 5 defense last year. And, you know, we started off, I believe, 6-2, 6-3. And we still had the possibility of going to the playoffs, you know. But this year we're excited because the offense, you know, is going to be rolling. So, yeah, we're all excited. Defense, offense, special teams, everybody in the building is.
All right, so let's break down Rodgers for a moment because I read a quote from Lawson that said, I hate playing against him in practice because I can't turn the corner and get to him. He just gets rid of the ball so quickly. What kind of challenges does he present to you and Sauce? Because he's a different bird.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is a different breed, man. Like, you know, last year during training camp, I didn't get that much targets. This year, you know, some practices I'll get like 6 balls thrown at me. And, yeah, he'll keep coming back at you. Like, it's kind of surprising. Like, if you make a play on the ball, you get a PBU, you know, usually a quarterback the next play will go to the other side or, you know, not throw. He
does it again.
He's going to come right back at you to let you know, like, yeah, I'm going to keep throwing at you. So it's definitely humbling, but it's definitely going to get me ready for like, you know, quarterbacks that throw deep balls and stuff and how to play them. And yeah, he's definitely been getting us better.
Well, let's talk about Sauce, because you go into that second season, you're a veteran, you know that he's not going to surprise anybody. So is there any advice you can give him to prepare for that second season? He'll be better because he's that kind of player, but I'm sure they went to work on him and probably have more knowledge about him than they did last year.
Yeah, for sure. You know, first of all, Sauce he's a different player as far as like at corner. You know, he's 6'3", but he moves like he's 5'9", very sticky in coverage. Like we all know like how he plays, but it's the mental makeup of him, I think, that makes Sauce. Like he's very humble. He has a humility about him, like when we're in the film room, to get better every day. So it's not much that I need to tell him as far as like, you know, how to get ready for year 2. Like he knows all the hype that's, you know, coming with how he played last year, so he knows what he has to do, but he takes it day by day, and he's a real professional.
Now, Sauce gets a lot of the love, and I was reading a story NFL.com last night, and it said that you are probably one of the most underrated players in the sport, that you're at this level and, you know, everybody's giving all this shine to Sauce. Do you ever feel like, why don't people love me?
Nah, man, nah, that's a good question, but like I'm really like internally motivated. You know, the main thing for me, like coming into the league, was to be able to take care of my family. And, you know, I was able to buy my mom a house with this second contract that I got. So that was like very big for me, and I just want to just continue to get better just for myself and just to, you know, be able to take care of my family. But as far as legacy, you know, don't get me wrong, I do want to be an all-pro. I do want to be a Pro Bowler. I do want to win a Super Bowl. Super Bowls, plural. But yeah, I'm definitely like internally driven more than externally driven.
So no jealousy?
Oh no. I'm not built that way, man. I'm happy for Sauce, and honestly, all the accolades and everything that he brings is going to bring people to watch us, so I'm grateful for it.
You got to help me out, because I'm built that way.
I'm really built that way,
yeah.
No, I'm not built like that.
All right, you got to help me out.
Now, listen, you were with Russ in Seattle. You've been around greats before, but let's just be frank. Aaron Rodgers may be the greatest quarterback who's ever picked up a football. Is it, just as a football fan, as a kid who grew up watching him, was it a little bit awe-inspiring just to see him sort of walk in wearing your jersey?
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I remember my rookie year, I was a backup when I was on the Niners, and I was playing safety. Somebody got hurt, and then I'm playing safety, and it's Monday Night Football. And then, like, you know, I'm like 15 yards back, and I'm looking who's under center. I'm like, bro, I'm really playing against, it was like a surreal moment. I'm like, I'm really playing against AR right now. So, like, when he came here, it was crazy, bro. Like, I was texting him before, like, it officially happened, even though we knew it was going to happen. And he was just like, you know, we're just gonna, you know, take it day by day and just see how the process goes. But once he came here and I seen him, it was crazy. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, we really got AR on our team. Like, this is crazy. But just seeing him work, like, he's so deliberate, so precise, so detailed. You know, every step, everything matters to him. Like, the way that he works in the weight room, like, he's locked in. So it's gonna be exciting.
Is he a regular dude?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that too. Because he's up here. Can you like joke with him?
Oh yeah, bro. That's what surprised me. He's super cool. Like, he's a Cali boy, so he really has a chill demeanor about himself. But he's goofy. Like, he'll joke and stuff, make jokes. He'll put on, like, funny music in the locker room, like, that we wouldn't expect him to listen to, and then in the weight room. But, yeah, he's a super cool dude. Like, he talks to anybody. Like, he sits with everybody at the lunch table. He doesn't just sit at one spot. Like, he'll come over and sit with you and just chop it up.
Wow.
Real cool dude.
Yeah, I was watching practice today, and you guys have music pumping, and I saw him at one point kind of just swaying back and forth to the music, and I'm thinking, that's a guy that really just knows, he's been there, he can do that, he can still concentrate and kind of have that vibe. You've known Robert Saleh for a long time, even before the Jets. How have you seen him grown as a coach?
Yeah, I think, you know, he really emphasizes, like, the best teams are teams that are driven and self-coached by the players. So I feel like he's given us that green light, like with the more veterans that he's brought in, because, you know, his first year, it was a lot of rookies. Like, a lot of guys were young. Like, even when I came here, I was the oldest dude in our room, and I was 24, 25. Everybody was like 20 to 23. So, I mean, he's starting to let us kind of coach ourselves, if that makes sense.
DJ Reed is our guest here on the Michael K. Show. It's almost like, correct me if you think I'm wrong, and we opened the show with this, the Jets have now become the it team. I mean, no disrespect, but it's been a laughing stock for a while. Did Rodgers just do that by himself? Now, I mean, he took a $35 million pay cut to be here. Now everybody's talking about the Jets in high terms. What does that mean to everybody?
Yeah, I seen that yesterday. That was big. That was surprising. That was big. And really, it just seems like, it's going to be a splash move made or something. I could be wrong, but that's, something I think that may happen. But it just, provides a lot of flexibility for us to have that window to win a Super Bowl. And, actions speak louder than words. So that was really big for us.
I mean, for a guy to take $35 million less to play for the Jets, I mean, that didn't happen in past years.
Yeah, we have a team, though. We have a great team. Like, we got, we just paid Q. I can name a lot of players. Like, we have a lot of great football players on our team.
Well, that must make you feel proud of the defense, too, because he's not putting himself in a situation. He could have obviously gone anywhere. And he wants to take a pay cut to be around here. That's obviously a testament also to you guys, because you guys have been the special part of this team now for the last couple seasons.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I told him, like, last year, it was very hard to score on us. Like, you have MC in a slot, who is very underrated, doesn't get the credit he deserves, but he's a lockdown slot corner. You have Sauce on the outside, who is a lockdown corner. You have myself as well. So it's really like, who are you going to throw the ball to? How are you going to score? Like, and I'm just being honest, like being frankly honest. It's going to be tough to score.
Who was the hardest offense you guys played last year? Who really presented themselves as a challenge?
I would say the Cincinnati Bengals. Like, after playing Joe Burrow for the first time, I had a new respect for him. He's a really good football player.
Yeah.
And their wide receiver core is good.
Yeah. We're hearing that, Dalvin Cook is on the premises. Is that a guy you want on this team?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The more talent, the better. Like, whoever wants to come, they're fully welcome. If JD wants them to come, like, JD knows what he's doing. Dalvin Cook is a baller. So, yeah, he's definitely welcome.
Now, you play a position where the NFL actually pays for that position. It's an important position. And then you see what's happening with Saquon Barkley. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, man. I'm a player, so it's messed up as far as, like, if you have a guy that changes the offense. Like, I'm not just talking about a regular running back, but a guy that changes the offense when he's on the field. I feel like those guys should be paid. Like Jonathan Taylor, whose contract is about to be up. Saquon, Josh Jacobs. Like, these guys change the whole offense, you feel me? So I feel like they definitely should get what they deserve. And, I understand, like, the last 10 years, in the Super Bowls, running backs have been, like, drafted in, like, the late rounds, and they've made it to the Super Bowl. And that's how GMs are kind of basing it upon.
Yep.
So I understand that side as well, but, it just sends the wrong message to just say, like, I'm working my butt off for 4 years, and I'm giving all to my team, and after that, y'all just going to just let me go.
Right.
Like, that's messed up.
We've been talking about it on the outside. You're in there. How does the room feel about it? Do you realize it's just a business, or can it let you affect you that a teammate might be going through something like that?
No, it definitely affects us because, like, like Derrick Henry, Nick Chubbs, like, I'm talking about guys that are really, like, the offense. Like, how do you not pay those guys? Like, that's kind of crazy to me. And, it's just different. Like, even as far as, like, being an agent, like, is it gonna change? Like, as far as, like, our agent's gonna want to represent running backs because there's not gonna be a second contract.
Yeah,
it's just kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Well, you have to make sure your children don't become running backs.
Oh, yeah. Nah. I don't even want my kids to play football, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, nah.
Because of the danger, or just
the danger of the sport? Like, go play baseball, soccer.
There's a lot of money in baseball.
Yeah, exactly. And then the money part is like
and a longer career.
Sports
and it's all guaranteed.
Exactly.
It's all guaranteed. It's really true.
Now Mbappe is being offered $750 million for 1 year.
Oh, he's down from $1 billion?
Yeah, $750.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
Is that unbelievable?
Gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like $1 billion.
Yeah, haven't played soccer. Maybe that's
soccer could be a good one.
DJ, thanks so much, man. We appreciate you coming by. Thank you so much. That's DJ Reed of the New York Jets. Going to have a big year. That defense is going to have a big year. We'll come back with more on the K Show right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
Oh, come on.
But you kept your cool.
I just planted those?
Sort of. And ordered everything you needed from Lowe's on Instacart. Yeah, look at you. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders.
All right, here we go. It's a big responsibility to be a designer. Dagny Dover is a bag brand based in New York City, founded by 3 women. We make hyper-functional, performance-driven bags. That's like a mouthful. We're all about getting the most out of life. When you're organized and you have your things together, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can live life intentionally. Oh, it's pronounced Dagny Dover. Dagny means new dawn. It's a new dawn for fashion.
Trick plays, and if ever
local hero, national champ, now he's home and expected to save the comeback and continue to go forward with hope as the plan.
What's up, guys? I wish this was in person so I could buy each and one of you a beer or something.
Let's play the game. Hey guys, am I dreaming or can we actually win this thing?
When you want to celebrate a special moment, or give the perfect gift,
Ooh, thanks.
or make the perfect statement, or when you just want to express yourself, you want Zazzle. Discover it, make it, share it, love it. Create it at Zazzle.com. When you want to celebrate a special moment, or give the perfect gift,
Ooh, thanks.
or make the perfect statement, or when you just want to express yourself, you want Zazzle. Discover it, make it, share it, love it. Create it at Zazzle.com.
I'm cooking without a recipe. I now have a signature cocktail. It's not a drink, it's an adventure. I'm giving a charming impromptu toast. I'm discussing astrophysics in a casual conversation. What? Surprise.
Blame it on Masterclass. Learn from the best to become your best with thousands of online lessons. Now just $10 a month.
Before ClickUp, our team's work was chaotic. Now with ClickUp, our team communication happens in one place. We collaborate in docs to build the project plan, convert the plan into tasks, and track the progress in real time. ClickUp's customizable workflows helps me streamline our processes so we're more efficient and productive. So if your team's productivity is a bit hairy, ClickUp simplifies project management to achieve your goals. Try it. Trust me. Seeing is believing. ClickUp, all your work in one place.
Distinctive in design, meticulous in craftsmanship, confident in execution. Genesis, a new beginning of what luxury can be. Lease the Genesis GV80 for $599 per month, exclusively at your tri-state Genesis retailers.
Is your old, inefficient HVAC system not getting the job done? Find relief now by calling the pros at AJ Perry. Get instant savings of up to $1,000 when you purchase select new energy-efficient heating and cooling systems from AJ Perry. Call today for your free consultation or second opinion. Expert technicians, flexible payment options, guaranteed service, and up to $1,000 in instant savings are great reasons to call AJ Perry today. Call 844-668-7555 to schedule your appointment.
And that, my friend, is why
I love those guys.
Oh, this is my turn.
You can now have Domino's drop to a location near you with new Domino's Pinpoint Delivery. Just choose Pinpoint Delivery on the Domino's app, drop a pin on the map, and get pizza delivered just about anywhere.
Here you are.
Thank you. It's Domino's Pinpoint Delivery.
Mara, are you sure you don't want to go bowling with us tonight?
Yeah, no.
There's my little marzipan. Oh, my daughter gives the best hugs.
We're just passing through on our way to the Jazz Jamboree. And we wanted to thank America's #1 motorcycle insurer for saving us money.
Mara, your parents are
Exactly like me. I know, right?
Well, cherish your friends and loved ones.
Let's roll, Daddy-O.
Let's boogie woogie.
I played the game I love for a long time, and now I talk about it. But today I'm not talking baseball, I'm talking straight to you. Some men get nervous talking about prostate health, especially our own. What you may or may not know is there are a few things that you can do to take control. Begin by talking to your doctor about prostate cancer screening. Take control of your life, know your score. Go to homerunchallenge.org to learn more on how to save lives and support prostate cancer research.
To kick it up a notch like Braxton. Let's go. Aaron Judge, case closed. Yeah, Cole. We about to
turn it up.
Swing and a miss. Bases loaded. Stanton. Big win for the Yankees.
We on a whole nother level now. We gonna turn it up.
You're watching Yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Welcome back to the show. DJ was a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed that. It's time now for Diamond Notes, brought to you by London Jewelers. Well, this is what the Yankees and the Mets are. Win one, lose one, win one, lose one. The Mets more so than the Yankees. But if you're a Yankee fan, you've got to be heartened by the way Carlos Rodon pitched.
Yes.
This guy can pitch. I know everybody's down on him because he missed the first half of the season, blew the kiss, which I had no problem with whatsoever. I thought that was much ado about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is such a competitor, and he can throw 97 miles an hour, has a killer slider. This guy can really make a difference over the final 2 months of the season. I thought that was a good outing for him.
No, it was. I mean, Quintana's was okay, not great. His 2 starts have been okay, not great, but I think he has a chance to get better. Got out of that bases loaded, nobody out jam in the first, and it looked like he was going to get out of another jam in the second, but they tacked on a couple of runs. But I wasn't overly impressed with either team other than Rodon, who's showing you that if you can have Cole and Rodon in a short series, that you would have a pretty legitimate chance. In the wild card, in a best of 3, if you have the luxury of starting Cole in game 1, Rodon in game 2, then you've got a real chance of moving on to the divisional round. Now, you got to get there, but I still think they got a shot.
You know, Peter asked me this before. If the Yankees get into the playoffs as the 3rd seed, you know what they play?
Yeah.
The Minnesota Twins.
Own that team.
Can't be better.
That's wild. Now, they did lose a series to them this year.
Right.
But still, Twins are not beating the Yankees in a big spot ever.
Now, Jeff McNeil, who played right field like Roberto Clemente yesterday.
Really
he was really good. He said at the game, he sounded down about it. He said, this is us all year. You score 9 runs and then you can't score. They've got to beat up on the Nationals, Don. They've got to beat up on Kansas City. And we say that they've got to, but they have really come up empty against really bad teams. And the Yankees did too.
Yeah,
over this long stretch where they played all those bad teams except for the 4 games against the Orioles. They were 11-13. They wasted a big opportunity because during that time, Tampa Bay was playing terribly.
You take a look at what the Mets did against Colorado this year. Not great. They've had a lot of bad teams early in the season. They couldn't take advantage of it. They lost to the Cubs when the Cubs were really struggling in the beginning of the season. So nothing's a fait accompli here. But listen, if you really do fancy yourself a playoff team and trying to get to 500, these next 7 games, you got to go 6-1. Gotta.
Okay.
But they won't.
No.
I don't think they will. But I think you have to. If they're 6-1, 7-0. Then I think you can really talk about doing something here. But but even if they did that, Peter, what would the next 5 games be? Then you get swept by the Braves, and then you lose 5 of the next 6. Then what are you doing?
I played that game already. Remember, leading up to the wedding, I said if they win until the wedding, then I'm going to start believing.
Right.
They did that. Then what happened?
Well, but
lost a couple
the wedding
before.
was so life-changing
For them,
it
right.
affected them, yeah.
Then they lost a couple into the break, and here we are.
Because the yes is showing you now. After Kansas City, it's going to be 3 with Baltimore. Then I believe you got the Braves. So you never beat the Braves. And Baltimore is going to be competing for a division championship. So, I remember I was on vacation listening to you guys talk about it. Michael was predicting they were going to be 6-0 going into the wedding.
And they were.
And they were. But what did that mean when they ended up dropping the last 2 games in San Diego, and then they come out of the break and lose, and then so it's 1 step forward, 1 step back. You're going to have to go
bum truck
on a run here. So over the next 7 games, go 6-1. Take 2 out of 3 from Baltimore. Show me something against the Braves. Then we can start talking.
How about
the way 4-3? Stop it.
The world has changed for the Orioles. All right, so. They have 2 nationally televised games this weekend.
Sure.
Sunday night. When was the last Sunday night baseball? It was at Camden Yards.
We should be able to find out the answer. We work for the company. They should know.
It's got to be at least 6 years, at least.
Well, 16 probably. There might have been one, right?
You don't have a K-Rod, do you?
No.
What?
No.
I wanted a guest spot.
Why do they judge this?
It's amazing. These decisions are made over my head. I don't know if we've had a Yankee game yet. You would think that you'd get, like, we had a great rating. By the way, Dom was amazing.
Was he? I want to see the whole thing.
And also, we wished you a happy birthday.
I heard it. I was touched.
Yeah.
I said something in the group chat.
Yeah, why is there not a K-Rod this Sunday when it's Yankees and the Orioles are Sunday Night Baseball?
I don't understand.
So instead, we have the next week, Dodgers and the Padres.
Which isn't, well, it's not.
No, it's not the Yankees and the Orioles.
No, what is really? But Peter, you're not in the way about the fact that I got on there, are you?
No, but I would say, wouldn't it be funny if they did an Orioles game? I could regale them with great stories from.
You're such an Oriole historian.
Well, I do have. I did once, get into a bit of a kerfuffle with the Oriole bird. Quite a moment.
Well, that gives us a minute of content.
That gives you a minute. I practically lived at Memorial Stadium.
Really?
I went all the time. Not kidding. I probably went to more games at Memorial Stadium. I've probably been to no stadium more than I've ever than Memorial Stadium.
That's saying something, Michael.
Yeah.
I've never been there.
You never went to Memorial Stadium?
No, I went to Camden Yards a few times.
Well, of course, yeah. Who hasn't gone to Camden Yards? It's glorious. Memorial Stadium was your pug.
Jacob looked it up. Last Sunday Night Baseball in Camden was 2018 against the Yankees. 5 years.
That sounds right.
You all right with that? Yeah.
No. I mean, by the way, Don, have you thought about the fact? What's different about the Orioles this year versus every other year?
They're entertaining.
But what happened? What happened around them that could have affected them?
What happened around them? Yeah. I don't know.
It relates to this show.
Oh, no. What did you do? I declared. Oh, that's right. You declared
last year. End of the season.
And when they were good again. This is 2 straight years they've been good.
No, they weren't good.
They weren't good last year. They were on the rise.
Well, compared to
now they're in first place.
You made me declare, and now look at them. I do declare.
Really, Scarlett?
They legitimately not only may win the division. Would you? Here's my question.
No, they got to get pitching.
So you wouldn't. How far could they go?
I don't think they're going to go very far with their pitching. They'll make the playoffs.
Couldn't win a series though.
I think it'd be really tough. Now, if they go out and get Justin Verlander, that's the kind of move.
Well, okay.
Verlander's been great the last 7 years.
He's been better the last few.
Not better, great.
Great. You're going with great?
It's on.
Yeah, he's been great. Outstanding.
Okay.
Buck could have let him out there for the complete game, the start before.
No, couldn't.
Well, he wanted to. Verlander wanted to pitch.
Okay, I'll play along. You think Buck Showalter told Justin Verlander no?
Well, he said he wanted you.
The stuff that's said publicly and the stuff that's real are completely different. Even the greatest pitchers in baseball tell their managers, I'm done. And then they want the manager to take the hit. I'm not saying that that's what happened then, but the manager's paid to take the hit. I made the decision. It was time to go to the bullpen. He's not going to say, oh, my pitcher wanted out.
All right, I've been scolded.
No, you're not scolded.
So you're saying there's no world. You're saying there's no world in which Buck said, hey, you've had enough?
I'm sure there's a world.
Not this world.
I don't even know. I'm just saying that I think that veteran pitchers are very honest to their manager. And when a guy like that's taken out after 98 pitches, my guess would be he said, I'm good. Okay. Those are Domino's, brought to you by London Jewelers.
They really were.
The engagement experts. Visit London Jewelers today at any of their 7 locations, including the newest location at the mall at Short Hills. Coming up, Randall Cobb, great guy to talk to, great guy to know. I can't wait to hear from him. But I want to tell you about my friends at PC Richard & Son.
Go ahead.
All right, here we go. It's a big responsibility to be a designer. Dagny Dover is a bag brand based in New York City, founded by 3 women. We make hyper-functional, performance-driven bags. That's like a mouthful. We're all about getting the most out of life. When you're organized and you have your things together, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can live life intentionally. Oh, it's pronounced Dagny Dover. Dagny means new dawn. It's a new dawn for fashion.
When you want to celebrate a special moment, or give the perfect gift,
ooh, thanks,
or make the perfect statement, or when you just want to express yourself, you want Zazzle. Discover it, make it, share it, love it. Create it at Zazzle.com. When you want to celebrate a special moment, or give the perfect gift,
ooh, thanks,
or make the perfect statement, or when you just want to express yourself, you want Zazzle. Discover it, make it, share it, love it. Create it at Zazzle.com.
Paying down debt can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Upstart makes it fast and easy. Borrowers can access the funds they need in as little as 1 business day. Checking your rate is fast, easy, with no cost to you or your credit score. Loans start at $1,000 and go up to $50,000. Join the club of over 1.8 million customers who have turned to Upstart for a personal loan. Your financial freedom begins at upstart.com.
Do you want to know what I've been binge watching? Udemy courses. They have thousands of courses that help me advance my career from anywhere, especially with this little one. I need to get in as much learning as I can. For both of us.
Listen, we get that ordering a suit online can seem a little risky. That's why we have a home try-on program. Go to theblacktux.com/try. With so many good options, it might be hard to choose. We'll ship your selection to you to try out for 48 hours on us. When it arrives, put it on and make sure every detail's perfect. Once your 2 days are up, pack it back in the box, attach the free shipping label, and send it back to us. And when you're ready to rent for real, just head back to the Black Tux and make your order official.
Ready to do something amazing? Let's go. This is where you learn new skills from the world's best. Get hands-on instructions and have something to show for it with Sessions by Masterclass.
I'm going to walk you step by step through what it takes to be a great singer.
You will become a more confident negotiator.
You're going to feel organized planning your wedding.
And once you're done with all that, you could do this, or even this. Roll up your sleeves and get started. Sessions by Masterclass.
It's the biggest financial decision of your life. Call 800-LAW-6789 or visit misowin.com.
Welcome back to the Michael K. Show. We're coming to you from a Jets camp in Florham Park. A lot of expectations for the Jets, and here's a guy who knows about expectations with his time with the Packers, and now with the Jets, it's Randall Cobb. He joins us now on the show. Randall, how you doing?
I'm great. How are y'all?
Pretty good. Did you think that when you decided to come here, and we've been saying this to a lot of our guests today, this is now the it place to be?
It's New York.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Yeah, but it was always in New York. They were not the it place to be.
Yeah, something changed, not the location.
Something changed. I'm not quite sure, but something changed.
That man came here. Yeah. That's what happened. That's what happens when you got a guy like Aaron Rodgers. The press is going to follow wherever he's at. He's a generational talent, and I've been fortunate to play with him for a long time.
Tell us something about him that isn't generally known.
I think the misperception of who he is as a person. I spent a lot of time with him over the years. He's one of my closest friends, stood at my wedding, the godfather to one of my kids. He's a special person, and I think just the perception of him kind of gets blown out of proportion sometimes. And, when someone speaks, there's always a lot of ways that can go whenever you start breaking down what he's saying and how he says it. So just knowing who he is as a person, I'm excited for this opportunity for him. It's a new place, a new spot, a new situation, and I think he needed something fresh. When you're somewhere for 18 years, going to the same building, seeing the same people, it's nice to change it up and spice it up a little bit.
How quickly did you know that you would end up in New York as well?
Well, I didn't know for certain how things were going to go. And I had a little surgery in the off season to take care of some things that I've been dealing with the past couple of years. So I just didn't know how it was all going to play out, how it was going to shake out. But when I got the call that they were interested, I was excited about it. Obviously, playing with Aaron for as long as I have, and then Hackett, understanding his offense. And we played the Jets last year when I was in Green Bay, and just the way that they played as a team. And now I'm being able to watch them every day in practice, especially the defense, just how hard they go, and just their attention to detail, and watching some of this young talent and the way that they work and the way that they're pushing themselves to get better every day.
You got to talk me through last year, because we look at his numbers and the Packers' numbers, and you say, well, they were below par. It still would be one of the best Jet quarterbacks of all time. How much was he affected by the hand?
I can't speak for him, but when you can't practice, obviously there's something going on, right? So, he's never going to come out and say that, he's never going to have any kind of excuse. That's not who he is. He's going to own up to when he put that uniform on and he goes out on that field, he's going out there to play and to play the best of his ability. Was his ability hampered? Maybe so. I don't know to what extent. I can't speak for him, but I'm excited for him for this opportunity because I know that he has a lot to prove, and he knows that.
What you're seeing now, is it the two-time MVP the year before last year or the 2 years before last year? Do you see prime Rodgers right now?
I do. When it comes to throwing the football, obviously there's a lot of details that we have to work out, especially in our room as receivers, and that's a big part of Coach Z and myself and Allen to get everybody to understand the process and how Aaron goes about things and how he sees things, and being able to pass along that knowledge to our younger group, because we got a very talented group, but it's about the details. He's a very detail-oriented person, and he expects everybody around him to understand what the big goal is and what the big picture is, and we're working towards that.
What worries me for all teams, really, I mean, when you started in this league, you had two-a-days, you practiced in pads, you had 4 preseason games, and now it's a completely different vibe in training camp. So it spills into the regular season, doesn't it? The continuity. Are games sacrificed? Is September sacrificed because you don't do as much in training camp?
No, I don't feel that. I don't feel that. That's as on us as players, as professionals, to prepare ourselves and get ready for the regular season, and to use training camp as a building block to that point. We're going out to win games. There's no spilling over into September. You get 17 opportunities in this league, and you can't squander any of them. So we're not going to worry about what's to come. We're just going to try to build day by day right now until we get to September.
Do you enjoy this role at this stage in your career? I mean, you've been doing this a very long time as well. You've gotten the accolades, put up the numbers. Now you get to come in a veteran role, teach the kids, work with Garrett Wilson. Do you enjoy getting to be veteran Randall Cobb?
I love this game. I love this game a lot, and I love where I'm at. I try to be present in the time that I am. Obviously, I'm not 24 anymore. I know that. I've played this game for a long time, and I understand my role. I understand where I fit in, but I still believe that I have something to offer on the field. So I'm going to continue to push. Obviously, I'm on PUP right now. I'm pushing to get back out there right now, so I can help and show the guys what it takes. But when it comes to the meeting rooms and for the professionalism, I'm trying to get them to understand. I've played in this league for 12 years, going into my 13th, and I've probably played with over 120 receivers in that time period, right? So when we talk about training camp and how many guys are in there, every day is an opportunity, and we're like commodity. Either your stock's going up or it's going down, and that's how I try to tell these young guys and get them to understand the opportunity that they have. And obviously, in a day like today, when we had a few guys out, they get more opportunities. You got to make the most of those opportunities.
All right, so Nathaniel Hackett was your offensive coordinator in Green Bay last year with Denver. You've probably heard by now, Sean Payton took real broadside shots at him today in a story in SI, saying terrible coaching job last year.
Talking about the Bunny Gate coach?
That's
what we're talking about?
Yeah, that guy.
All right.
Are you surprised that a coach would say that about another coach?
Am I surprised? No, not in this day and age. As a man, I think it's pretty soft. I think he's trying to soften the blow, but that's not my team. I'm not worried about them. He can say what he wants to say. I know who Hackett is. I know what he brings to our team. I know how he's going to motivate guys and how he's going to make the game fun. And that's one of the reasons that I'm here. He was a big part of the reason that I wanted to come to the Jets.
Were you surprised that he didn't do that well in Denver last year as a head coach?
I mean, I was definitely surprised, and I was surprised, that they only gave him the
less than a year.
Yeah, less than a year that he, to put in his pieces. That's this business, though. That's this business, and that's the way that it goes. You got to take it how you take it and move forward.
What do you see from Garrett Wilson?
Scary. Yeah. that kid is scary good, and I'm excited. I'm excited for him. Not only what the talent that he has, but now having Aaron here and being able to refine his ability. He has all the pieces, and now it's just getting him to understand the big picture and how he relates to the offense, how he can beat guys in certain ways, and understanding where he is in the progression and understanding on certain plays he has more time in his routes and being able to push to depth and understanding how he fits into the offense. But I'm really excited for him.
Is this a Super Bowl caliber team?
I believe it is. When you talk about championship teams, it always starts on defense, right? It always starts on the defensive side of the ball, and them being able to create turnovers, them being able to get off the field in situational football. And you already see that. You already know that we have that. It's offensively putting it all together. And anytime you add a player like Aaron Rodgers, you're obviously going to up your opportunity for that.
How about the exposure that a lot of these kids are under? You know, the extra, the hard knocks, you got that. You got the extra prime time games. Is that an adjustment to go from a team that people weren't paying attention to now being the focus and the team to be looked at?
I played in Green Bay and Dallas, so I'm not going to say that. I think that, obviously I've played places where the spotlight was shown. Obviously it wasn't New York, but we had a lot of coverage over my career. So I think the message just to the younger guys is not letting that get in the way. It obviously has the opportunity to build us up and give us the opportunity to show our brand and show who we are as people, but also it's about production. It's about performance, and that's the first and foremost the biggest part of it.
Did you enjoy, besides the football part of it, did you enjoy your time in Green Bay? And what kind of adjustment is it living at least half the year in a town as small as Green Bay?
Yeah, well, I come from a small town. I come from a small town in Tennessee, so going to Green Bay wasn't that big of an adjustment for me. It probably was the best thing to happen to me, for real, just being able to go and be in Green Bay and focus on football. And, obviously when the season was over, being able to break away and find some warm weather was nice. But it was great. I enjoyed my time there. We had some success, not a championship while I was there, but we had some success and won some games.
Does everybody know you by your first name, like the second you go out, like for a bite to eat in Green Bay?
For sure. It's only a few places that we go, and the city shuts down on Sundays, right? I think a pro player after the game is probably going to the city, having some fun. We're ordering Papa John's and going to the house. It wasn't too many options up there on Sundays.
Talking with Randall Cobb here on the Michael K. Show. Now, if you're listening on the radio, you're missing out. I hate to make you feel uncomfortable. If you're watching on TV, have you ever seen eyes better than this, Peter?
They're beautiful eyes.
Unbelievable. How many compliments do you get? Gangrene eyes. And Green Bay eyes last year, right?
Yeah, I got that a few times.
Yeah, I don't want you to meet my wife. Anyway, thanks for coming on. I hope you get up the pup list and have a great year.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Good luck. That's Randall Cobb. The one thing that you fear for training camp happened with the Cincinnati Bengals just now.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow went down, grabbed his calf, and was carted off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just calves are tough. It takes a long time to heal. Not saying that you just hope it's nothing else. Because sometimes you think it's a calf, and it could be an Achilles or the back of the knee.
Who knows?
So let's just hope that it's a calf and he gets back in a short amount of time. But scary stuff.
And this is a guy that was going to probably get paid more than Herbert. He was probably going to get north of $55 a year. So it's just so scary. He's already missed time with an injury, and if he misses another, and you hate to talk, selfishly about the Jets, but that's if this is serious, then you take Cincinnati off the table, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can't approximate anybody who replaces him is not close to him.
But you hear calf and carted off the field, and it's still very, very early in training camp, and it's a long season and all that, but you hope for the best. You just don't want to see these talented players miss any kind of time. So you just hope it's nothing serious. But, boy, it didn't sound good.
All right, we are here at Jet Camp, Florham Park. Are we going to go to the pizza place later? Because I heard it's going to be pouring after the show, so we might as well do that rather than hit the road.
We haven't broken bread together in God knows how long. Or outside of Peter's wedding, but Peter wasn't like.
What do you mean?
Bread.
You and I broke bread when after the
really terrific dinner.
When?
Vinny took us out for a lovely meal.
Right. Everybody does all things when I'm not around.
And we went out. Jacob and Anthony and me and Dan went out to dinner.
PJ Clark's, right?
PJ Clark's. Yeah. We took a picture, sent it to you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the three of us.
I don't think Peter's in the mood. I mean, he's not even engaged in the show right now. He's looking at his phone.
No, I'm watching the Joe Burrow.
Oh.
It's carbs. I don't want to add any carbs.
Honestly, even though I ever said everything I've said, if the three of us were really going to go out like gentlemen.
Right. This famous pizza place here.
I'd change all my plans.
Oh, so you have plans?
No, but I'd change them.
Question for you, and don't take this the wrong way. Sick of marriage yet or not?
I am not sick of marriage. Why would you even ask?
I'm just wondering, sometime.
No, not sick of marriage at all. Having a great time. Had a lovely honeymoon together in Turks and Caicos.
Right.
Don't think I'll go back. But
I'm not a big Caicos fan.
It was too much Turks, not enough Caicos.
Interesting.
No, it was nice. It was really nice. There just was not that much to do, and it was hotter than the face of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
We swam. We ate.
Right.
We swam.
I saw you had a very difficult time getting into an inner tube.
That was unfortunate.
Wow.
Those inner tubes are tough.
Wow, you look like a complete loser.
Thank you.
Well, the fact that you actually posted it shows me that you really believe in yourself.
Well, why would I care?
Because you look awful.
What do you mean, because I care whether or not I easily get into an inner tube or not?
Yeah, but it looked like it was a weight problem to not get it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was not a great
What else would you think it? Right? That's the way it's going to come off.
Hold on. Are we going to actually sit here and pretend that it's easy for anyone to get into an inner tube?
I don't know.
Once you're in the water?
Go underneath.
Oh, well, no, I could have done that. I was trying to jump backwards into
Yeah, it did work. Will you be sitting in front of the TV tomorrow, Don, if Aaron Judge, in fact, plays?
No. Why even make him pretend that he would be?
He would. Because he cares.
Well, he'll be watching the Mets game. Yeah.
Really? You're going to watch Mets? By the way, how about my guy on Twitter? Somebody said, I've always wondered, Don, when the Yankees playing the Mets, are you watching SNY or Yes? He goes, watching my friend on Yes.
Well, but why would he? Everyone knows that to be true.
Oh, there are people I'm a fraud.
Yeah, fraud.
What?
Well, but first of all, not only is he a very good friend of mine that I've known for over 20 years, and I love the man, but I'm on Yes. What does SNY offer me?
Nothing.
I mean, it's a good broadcast, don't get me wrong, but... it's like you work at a beautiful restaurant but never eat there. Like it would be weird.
Everyone just wants you to be the exact same kind of fan they are.
Well, that's good for them.
Gary Cohen showed me something on Tuesday that I wish I could do.
Gary Cohen showed you something.
So before a game, right?
Okay.
I'm doing the radio show.
Sure you are.
And at 6:22, I'm running upstairs.
Oh yeah, I know.
To tape the open
that
and all
filthy,
that. Right, the rat-infested
trailer.
No, it's not really a trailer. So it's a shipping container.
It really
is a shipping container.
That is right. Yeah.
And I get up there. So the SNY booth is on our left, and there's a window between us. And I look over, and Gary is just leaning back, eyes closed, meditating.
Well,
I don't have that moment.
Like you would ever meditate.
Yeah, you wouldn't meditate.
Well,
you might
maybe
pass out for a half hour.
Maybe rest my eyes a little bit, but I was so impressed that he did that.
If you had an extra few minutes, you might do something that sounds like meditate, but it ain't that.
Oh, wow.
At Jet Camp?
Medicate. Jet Camp at Yankee Stadium.
No, but I said he said it at Jet Camp.
He's an idiot.
The holiest of places. That's not what he was talking about, Medicaid. Come on. Step up your game.
Wow. Rick DiPietro has chimed in.
Okay. Of course he did.
Carlin has an easier time putting his socks on than Peter getting into that inner tube.
Okay. You know what? I don't feel bad
That's
about
what they call a twofer.
Zach Taylor, according to Anthony Greek, says it's a calf injury for Burrow, according to Garofalo.
It looks very much. I saw people instantly worried it was Achilles. The way he hops, like when it happens, it looks very calf strain, something like that. I don't think it's a tear.
Let's go to Charlie in New Jersey. Charlie.
Chuck?
Hey, guys. How are you? Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
Peter, congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Listen, I was just calling. I listen to you guys all the time. And the conversations we're having about the Jets right now are eerily similar to the conversations you guys were having about the Mets before the season started. I hope it's wrong, but it just seems like the same kind of talk where you got the good players, the new team, this, that, and everything. And I hope I'm wrong with saying it, and I hope it doesn't happen the way the Mets are taking it right now, but it just seems eerily similar. So.
But the reason why we were so high on the Mets, Charlie, is a little different than the Jets. The Mets won 101 games. And they added Justin Verlander, a guy who had a 1.75 ERA last year. They didn't add much else. I mean, they added David Robertson. So I don't think that was false hope. I mean, we're just building off 101.
Listen, we've been down this road before. I get what the caller says. It seems like whenever we talk up a team, that team disappoints us. But I don't think that Jet team should be held to different standard. They've got a better quarterback. They had weapons. I mean, they didn't have a quarterback last year and won 7 games. Now you've got one of the best in the game. How many can you win? I'm not sure if it's going to be a Super Bowl or not, but the team should be a lot better. But as you said, Michael, we were basing the expectations on the Mets. They won 101 games last year.
Right.
So why wouldn't we be excited about it? But, you know, sometimes teams do live up to those expectations. We'll see if the Jets do. I had somebody on Twitter say, because I was describing the Tebow situation, he's like, no, it's more Brett Favre. You know, we lived through both. But from an attention standpoint, I think Tebow got more attention than Favre. This is the comparison because it's 2 quarterbacks. But did you get this vibe when it was Favre? This is way different.
Well, Favre didn't want to be here. Rodgers has proven he wants to be here. That was the different vibe.
See, that's a perfect. Everybody knew he was one and done, and you had to get it. You know, and they started 8-3, and they would have been a playoff team had he not hurt his shoulder, or at least if he told people that he had hurt his shoulder, they could have done something about it. But this feels more sustainable. We're talking about a couple years, maybe more, if everything goes well, of trying to win that elusive championship.
Let's go to Rob in, I believe, Greenwood. Hello, Rob.
Hey, how's it going, gentlemen?
Good.
It's going.
Listen, I'm not trying to bust too many chops here, but Don, I gotta ask you. I can't believe you just said that so easily when you said SNY has nothing to offer. I understand you work for Yes. I understand you're a friend of Michael's, but when it comes to a situation like the Subway Series, that's when exactly is what they have to offer. You're a staple for the Mets community, and you got to watch them for the Subway Series. You have to.
I'll do whatever I want.
But, Rob, I think he meant they have nothing to offer him.
Me, as
in
a
terms
person.
of a job.
Yeah, I mean, I work at Yes. One of my best buddies is calling the game. I mean, I love Gary, Keith, and Ron and the SNY broadcast, and that's how I consume the Mets, obviously. But during the Subway Series, why wouldn't I watch my guy?
Listen, I think that's a fair statement, and I'll lower my tone a little bit. You're right. You don't have to do anything. But with that being said, on a lower scale for people in smaller towns and communities, me and my buddies, we bicker about the SNY booth being the best, and they bicker for Michael K. Rightfully so, both well respected. You're a pillar in the community. I think in a standpoint like that, when we're sitting in the bars hanging out with our buddies,
I think you bring up some cogent points, but I understand what Don's saying.
I understand both sides.
It's personal.
Don is not the average Met fan.
No.
He's a big Met fan who happens to be very close with the Yankee announcer.
Very close.
Plus, there was something about, even before I started working with Michael, and even when I didn't like Michael.
Yeah, hated me.
Based on that one comment he made during the Subway Series about he went to a game at Shea and he showered on.
Right. I
always kind of want to know the enemy's angle. I don't mind that. Like sometimes because I got Sirius satellite radio, I might, and the Mets are playing on the road. I can get the road feed on satellite. Sometimes I like to know what where the other team's coming from. You know what I mean?
Yes booth, Peter, was David Cohn. David Cohn pitched to Don in wiffle ball.
Yeah.
I mean, did Ron Darling do that?
I consider David a friend.
There you go.
Paul O'Neill always volunteers to pick me up in Columbus when I fly in.
Yeah.
Wow. Ranger, he's never done it,
right.
but he always volunteers. He always offers. Yeah. John Flaherty, I was hung out with him after Michael's wedding. So I'm friendly with these people. I have no relationship with Ron. He's a nice guy. We disagree on a few things.
I think he's done.
He might be done with me, but I don't care.
I think he's done with the show.
I think he's done with the show as well.
Yeah, from the whole Lenny Dykstra book.
But I'll say that again. He was wrong.
Yeah,
he was absolutely 100% wrong.
Who?
Ron, to write that book and to say the things that he said about Lenny, about Bob Murphy. You didn't have to do that. What, to sell a few books? Stop it.
He's doubling down.
Stop yourself.
He's tripling down.
He'll never go on the show now.
He already
But Keith, I like Keith, but if I was convulsing, he would step over me to go get a cup of coffee.
I saw something with Keith Hernandez the other day in the hallway behind the booth.
This sounds very strange.
So our buddy Ryan Hurley was there after the game came up to say.
Oh, and Hurley's got a thing for Keith.
Oh my goodness,
drinking cannons together.
Believe me, I don't even want to get into it, but Ryan's son and daughter's there, and I think his daughter's friend.
Okay.
So Ryan introduces them to Keith, and it was a line out of Seinfeld. He goes, "Hi, I'm Keith Hernandez."
Oh no.
Yeah, it was beautiful. was so well said. Hi, I'm Keith Hernandez.
Oh.
This is the title of his book,
Well,
too.
I feel bad.
Why do you feel bad?
Why?
I don't know. I just did. Oh, was that awkward?
But by the way, we should be careful, guys. This whole conversation could get us canceled in Mets country. They were being somewhat semi-critical of the greatest schools in the history of sports.
No,
it's the only entertainment I consume.
But they're great.
I know, but
if you know these people,
I understand it. They're fantastic at their job. You know what? The Beatles are the greatest band of all time. They're also overrated. Gary, Keith, and Ron, they're fantastic. But these fans, every day they want to go chapter and verse. Have they ever? You know that a lot of teams in this country have fantastic booths. I grew up with John Miller as my announcer. There are fantastic announcers throughout this great nation. These people act like they're the only people who can call a game. Well, excuse me.
And let's face
my friend Michael Kay can call a game with the best of them. Good day, sir. Good day.
Nothing beats Crook and Kipe anyway, so we're all just talking out of
you know what? Exactly. What about Crook and Kipe?
Not Crook.
Kirk and Quipe, whatever their names are.
You in the mood for some sauce?
What kind of sauce?
Sauce Gardner?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have Sauce Gardner in a moment.
I'm thirsty.
The all-new Genesis of White Plains, located at 6-6, bases loaded single by Daniel Vogelback. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Yankees play tonight against the Mariners, game 2 of their 3-game set. You can watch it on Prime. Yesterday, Yankees won 3-1 behind a strong outing by Garrett Cole. But they have been struggling of late. Yesterday's win snapped a 4-game losing streak. And the managing general partner of the New York Yankees, Hal Steinbrenner, is nice enough to join us now. Hal, thanks for coming on. Michael, Don, and Peter here.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
We're doing okay. The losing, Hal, that's been happening since Judge went down. How much does it affect you? How much does it annoy you?
You didn't even ask me how I was.
How are you?
I was a little bit
bad guy.
I was a little bit hesitant to come on the show because I remembered that I owed Don $20.
That's right. You know, and with late fees, Hal, we're starting to work up the legends.
the juice,
wow, late fees.
I said with interest. Yeah. Well, look, I'm not happy at all about the last week. Needless to say, you know, I talked to everybody a week ago when I was in New York, media-wise, and I still think we're missing, obviously, a few big pieces that need to come back, but overall, we're hanging in there. The last week was disappointing, though, without a doubt. You know, I said last week we needed some guys to step up, and because we're missing a big player in Aaron Judge. And so far, it hasn't happened. I think we saw a glimpse of hopefully good things out of one of them last night. They got 3 hits, but you know, we got to get back to scoring runs. We got to get back to where we were those 2 weeks in May when I think we won 12 games out of 15, and we were never out of a game, and we were scoring runs, and you know we played a good 4-game series against the Rays. We got to get back to that, and we still have to get healthier, obviously.
Just to dive right in over the overall situation, Hal, because we deal with it every single day on the air. Fans unhappy you have not won a World Series since 2009. You're the New York Yankees and have not had a parade down the Canyon of Heroes going on 14 seasons. But yet, Aaron Boone, Brian Cashman have gotten extensions during that time. So I guess the overall question is, are you happy with where your team has been over the last 6 years? And has the mission statement of championship or bust maybe been adjusted?
No, it has not been adjusted. Our goal every year is to win a championship. And I've been through this before with numerous people. Do I feel that the whole season is a failure when we don't? No, I don't, because I'm not going to ignore when we win, you know, X amount of games and win a division or win a division series. I'm not going to ignore that. But we have failed for many years to win a championship, and that is our ultimate goal. But, you know, I went through this a lot in the offseason. I talked to a lot of you guys. And for all the reasons that I stated, I believe that Boone is a good manager, and I believe that Cashman is a good general manager. And I'm not going to go into all those reasons again. You can look it up. There are many. But we have failed, and you can include me in that as well. You know, my family puts the resources in we can every year, and we strive to field a championship-caliber team. And sooner or later, that's got to result in a championship. And I absolutely understand the frustration with the fans. I get it. We're all frustrated.
I guess the frustration, and is it a fair question to ask, if you have failed since 2009, there doesn't seem to be any accountability in those failures if the same guys keep coming back to take another kick at the can.
Well, I think the accountability is with the fans. I mean, if they've lost confidence in us and the way we do things and what we do to try to win a championship every year, they're going to let us know in a variety of ways. So I always feel accountable, believe me. But if you're asking me, do I think Brian Cashman is not a good general manager? No, I think he's a good general manager. And I've been through the reasons numerous times. We don't need to go through it again. But we have failed to achieve our ultimate goal for many, many years, and that's to win a championship. And we can go through the contributing factors every single year. We're not going to do that, of course. We can go through some of the contributing factors this year as to why we are where we are. But we don't need to do that either, unless you guys want it.
You mentioned your family and what you guys put into this, and of course, one of the things that we have to hear ad nauseum is what would George do? What would George think? It's you know, don't get me wrong, it's become almost a bit of a joke at times on the show. But you are a human being who did take this thing over from your legendary dad. Do you ever think about what your dad would think about where this organization is in 2023?
Sure. I mean, and it's oftentimes I think about what would my dad do. But my dad and I are two different people, of course. And, you know, you guys have been around long enough to know that my dad was not particularly well-liked for a lot of years. And there were a lot of years without a championship. And, again, we have the greatest fans in the world. They're passionate, and they expect excellence. And I get that. But yeah, he went through his hard times as well. And, you know, right now we're going through difficult times trying to win a championship.
I don't know how much you monitor what's said on radio shows or on social media, but for some reason, I mean, your fan base, at least the vocal ones, Hal, very, very upset. They're just upset. I mean, have you heard that noise? Do you try to block it out? Does it affect you?
Yeah, I don't look. I want to know. You know, I talk to Jason Zillow a lot, and I talk to different people. I don't listen to podcasts. I don't listen to radio shows. I don't read the papers much. I just don't. But I want to know what the vibe is out there, and I understand they're upset. I'm a little confused this year, being you know, third week in June, why they're so upset. But they're upset, and that's going to get my attention, of course. And you know, everybody just needs to know that we're working hard on all fronts to get this, you know, to get this back on the rails and start playing the way we were for, you know, a couple-week period there in May. But health has got to be a part of it. We got to get Aaron back. You know, Rodon had a rehab outing. He felt great afterwards, 42 pitches, I believe. We got to get him into the mix. We got to get healthier. We got to get guys off the IL and put sending guys to the IL. That's one factor that needs to happen.
Are you curious to why there are teams that have been able to be, you know, higher than you in the standings and maybe better than you over the last few years with much less a payroll?
Well, I think a lot of it is, well, look, I think a lot of it is if you're struggling, if you're in a market where you can struggle year after year for 4 or 5 years, there's going to be an advantage eventually to that in the draft picks you get and so on and so forth. There are other really smart GMs out there. I'm not saying they're not. Tampa's done a phenomenal job, and they're a tough adversary. And they're having a great season this year. And the Orioles, we knew would be good. I didn't know they would be this good, but we knew they would be good. So it's a tough division, and I understand all that. But we're in a place where our fans expect us to be in the playoffs every year, and we expect that of ourselves. And I want to be in the playoffs every year, which is why we commit the resources we do. And but it's only logical to realize that if you struggle for 5, 6, 7 years, and you know you're kind of at the bottom of the rung, and you know there are advantages to that. Eventually, you're getting good picks.
Have you ever given any consideration, Hal? Because hey, tanking works. Astros tanked. Cubs tanked. They won World Series. The Orioles have tanked for 5 years, and now they've got a good, exciting young team. Do you not just think that your fans could take it, or you don't have the stomach for it to lose on purpose for 4 years?
For all the talk that I'm not like my dad in a lot of ways, that's one way that I'm just like my dad. It's not in my DNA. I want to be in the playoffs every year. I believe if you get into the playoffs, wild card or not, you've got a legitimate shot to make it happen in any given year. And our fans expect that. You guys know that better than I do. You deal with this every day. And my family expects it. Now, it's just not a consideration. It's not where we play. It's not the city we play in, and it's not what our fans want.
Does it bother you, Hal, that as one of the highest generating revenue teams in the league, that you kind of fund the teams that decide to tank and try to get better through losing?
Well, let me put it this way. And I'm not sure what teams you're referring to, and if that even happens or doesn't happen. But they're clearly teams that have struggled through the years.
Mm-hmm.
No, I believe it. I believe. I've said this numerous times. I believe every fan in baseball should come to spring training thinking that their team has some type of chance to get to the playoffs. And if that's not the case, it's just not good for baseball as a whole. So no, I don't like to see teams struggle mightily. And I certainly don't like it if I have, I'm under the assumption or I have the idea that they're doing it on purpose. If that's actually ever happened or if that's actually the case, that would not be something I would be happy about. If that's what you're asking.
Hal, have there been any personnel moves, trades, signings, lack thereof, over the last few years that have gone away that have really stuck in your craw? Ones you wish you could get back?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd have to think about that. You're talking about trades that what exactly are you talking about? Trades that we made that we shouldn't have let the person go?
Sure. Either direction, either a move to get someone, it didn't pan out, or someone you let go of and saw them perform well somewhere else.
Oh, well, look at Sonny Gray, right? But that wasn't happening in New York. He just was not thriving whatsoever in New York. And, there's going to be other players. This is a difficult market to play in. You guys know that better than I do. So you're going to get some of that. We can talk about the Montas trade. So far, it has not worked out, right? But putting myself back to last year, I would do it again. We got rid of 2 minor league pitchers for a proven major league pitcher. We knew he had injury history, but he was healthy. And believe me, I was in the middle of it all. We do our homework, and the medicals were actually, better than we thought they would be. But we knew we were taking a chance. But that's something I would do again because you're getting somebody you can plug right into the middle of the lineup, not in the middle of the rotation.
You mentioned the injuries. The team has to get healthy, and it's almost been an epidemic of injuries. And I know that you and your family are spending a lot of money on sports science and stuff like that. You brought in Eric Cressy, but the injuries continue to happen. How frustrating is that? And do you wonder why?
Well, it's frustrating. Some of the injuries, sliding into a base, crashing into a wall, is not much we can do about. But it's the oblique and the hamstrings and the quads that drive me crazy. We did change a lot 3 or 4 years ago, as you know, by bringing in Eric and new strength and conditioning people and techniques that we do in the weight room. But I'm going to meet with Eric this weekend when I'm in New York. He just made up a report that I just got, and I've read a couple times, and we're going to continue to try to get better and better. I do know that this year we're above average with injuries. I think we all know that. But if you look at the last 2 years, believe it or not, we're pretty close to the major league average. Now, I want to be below average, obviously. Mm-hmm. So the question is, what areas can we improve in? And we're always striving to do that. I'm never going to quit asking that question, believe me.
You brought up Sonny Gray. We can throw Aaron Hicks, maybe Joey Gallo. There have been a few players recently that just don't look like they've got the stomach for New York. Does your organization need to do a better job of analyzing whether a player can handle the media and the responsibility of being a New York Yankee?
Yeah, believe me, Don, we do everything we can. We ask as many questions as we can of scouts, different scouts around the league and former teammates of the player. We try to get as much information as we can. That's always my first question. Can this person play in New York? Toughest place to play in the world, in my opinion. So can we do better? Obviously, I guess we could do better, yes. And we'll strive to do that. But we do ask the questions, and we try to get as much information as we can just on that one factor, because it is a major factor.
So we solicited, fans to put in some questions for you, and here's one of them by Alex Conrad. Hal, he said, would a third-place finish and not making the playoff bring along major changes at the end of the season?
I would say that if we can march into the playoffs 90% of our intended team that we expected to be on the field every day, 90%, everybody's got injuries, but let's say 90%, and we don't perform well in the playoffs, I'm going to start asking the questions even then. If we don't make the playoffs, third place, fourth place, second place, this is a tough division. But if we don't make the playoffs and we're healthy the second half of the year and we start getting guys back and we get the team that we intended to be on the field, then I'm going to be asking some tough questions.
Another one is from Real Bo Sheck. He said, with the hitting struggling the way it is, Hal, is Lawson on the hot seat?
Nobody's on the hot seat right now. Let's get through the season. Let's see what happens. There's no way that Stanton and Rizzo aren't going to start hitting, and the others as well, I'm sure. We continue to get contributions from guys like Bowers. It's been a pleasant surprise. I think we're going to be fine. I believe we're going to be fine. But, people can call me delusional for saying that. But these guys are just too good. And, again, I saw what we could be those two or so weeks in May when Judge came back from that first injury. I saw what we can be. We can be a force.
The patience with Volpe, Hal, is that just about your organization see something that he'll come out of it, or just don't want to discourage him by sending him down?
Well, look, the defense is solid, which to me is the most important thing in a shortstop. But I think the league has adjusted to him. He's going to make some adjustments as well, and he's going to have to. We knew this was not going to be an easy thing from day one. He was 21, right, at the beginning of the season. But again, as I've said, I assured him when I talked to him that he's a starting shortstop for the New York Yankees. Through the good times and the potentially tough times. And I knew there was going to be potentially tough times. I think everybody did. Offensively, he's going through that right now. But he's got everything it takes to be a starting shortstop for the New York Yankees. But he's got to make some adjustments. He's going to continue to work on it, which he is. But believe me, there have been no discussions, as of now, of sending him down.
How long is the runway, Hal, for Josh, who actually plays very good defense at third, but it's been about 500 at-bats dating to last year, and he has not been the offensive player that everyone thought he was going to be. So how long is that runway?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. He has struggled offensively, although he's hit a couple home runs, which is good since he's been back. But defensively, he's solid at third base. We haven't talked about any type of timeline as to when we will have had enough. So right now, he's our starting third baseman most games, and we hope that he's going to turn things around offensively.
How about Stanton? When you look back at what you thought you were going to get in 2018, and there's been times he's been very good in the postseason, but now being able to stay consistently in the lineup, what's your overall feeling of evaluating that trade with Miami as you've looked over it over the last few seasons?
Well, there was no way back then that we were not going to make that trade. That's number one. He's a special talent. And we've seen when he's on, he can carry a team. I mean, he can literally carry a team. I think he's always been a little bit hot, cold, particularly when he comes off the IL, which he just did. But this is not what he's doing right now. This is not going to continue. There's no way this is going to continue. So he's going to catch fire. And again, when he does, he can pick up a whole team.
Is it a little surprising how I know you're a football fan, and if you lose a quarterback, a whole team can go down the tubes. But baseball seems to be a sport where if you lose one player, even if it's an unbelievable transcendent player like Judge, the whole team should not go down the tubes. Are you surprised that everybody stopped hitting once Aaron Judge got hurt?
Well, it's a small sample size, but it's concerning, right?
Yeah.
But he's one of the best players in baseball, so a lineup's going to miss him. But as I said last week, yes, some of the other veterans have to then step up and pick up the slack. And as of now, they have not done that, although I like what I saw from Rizzo last night. But he's a force. And, the good news is his leadership, he's in the clubhouse, he's in the dugout. His leadership, has not gone away. And he's motivating guys, he's working with guys. And I'm thankful he's there, but we got to get him back in the lineup. It's an amazing difference maker.
I'm sorry, Michael.
I was just going to say, I've known you for a long time since I've been broadcasting the games, and I know that the losing eats at you. But fans that call in or on Twitter, they go, Hal doesn't care that much about a championship. He just wants to have a competitive team for the network and have attendance. What do you say to people that say that? Because they don't know you like I know you. So this is an opportunity to tell them how you feel when the team is struggling.
what they expect is us to put a lot of money in the team every year. That's what my family does every single year. We are among the very top payrolls in baseball. So if I just cared about fielding a competitive team, I wouldn't have gone out and signed Rodon, okay? I would have signed Judge, and poof, we're done. But I felt we needed another number one, number two starter to put in that rotation to win in the postseason. And that's why we went and spent a lot of money on Carlos. And he's going to be great. He's healthy now. But, I mean, I don't know how to respond to something like that, but I guess I would use that as an example. I could have had a competitive team without Rodon.
Do you throw shoes at the TV when something bad happens?
I throw stuff. I don't know if it's necessarily true, but if you're asking me if I have a temper, I do have a temper. My wife, like most nights, steers clear of me when I'm watching the game. So again, like my dad, I'm a bit that way. But I try to, as you know me for so long, I try to maintain my cool, Michael. But it doesn't always work.
Yeah, I've gotten to know you, not as well as Michael, but I know how desperately you want to win, and you give a great example of you continue to sink money into this team to be competitive. But will there ever be a point, if you continue to sink that money in and it doesn't pay dividends, that you would have to now look at a different path, a different way of doing it?
Well, we also sink a lot of money into player development. We're among, performance science. We're among the top. Everyone talks about our top revenues being the highest in baseball. Our expenses are among the highest in baseball, believe me. So I believe, as you know, in a very balanced team. We need the veterans and the superstars, the leaders, but we also need to put a lot of money into player development and try to sign the best guys we can. And we always spend, as much money as anybody does in foreign signings and domestic draft and everything else we do in player development. So,
are you developing players enough to your liking?
Say again?
Are you developing players enough to your liking?
I think we are. I think the last two trade deadlines would say yes, because we got a lot of different players that teams have asked for, and some of which we've sent away. And I look at us now, and Peraza, Dominguez, Austin Wells. I mean, we've got some great players down there. Beater was the pitcher we got in the Gallo trade, has been an unbelievable, pleasant surprise, and the whole Double-A pitching staff is pretty solid. And so, I mean, we've got some good players, and I think the fact that so many different players are being asked about from other teams every trade deadline and every offseason is a testament to that, in a way, to me.
All right, so Hal, Peter Rosenberg on our show, he loves his pathetic Washington Commanders. And that is
where's this going?
It's a dumpster fire team, Hal, and they just sold it for $6 billion. So I can only imagine what you could sell the Yankees for. Have you ever thought about, what do I need the aggravation? Let me sell this team for $9 billion. Has that ever crossed your mind?
No, because, I mean, despite the rumblings about me, I don't own a yacht. I don't really have a hobby except for a few old American muscle cars, but other than that, I mean, this is something my family is very invested in, and the third generation is invested in it. I mean, I've got George's grandsons and granddaughters are all working here now, so it's a family business. And I was at the Heinz Complex today, and yesterday we had a Gulf Coast League game. I love being there. So it's a family business. There's never been any talk of that. I mean, it's just, what would I do?
Well said. I'm a capitalist. Michael is the king of capitalists. So we get the Prime Video aspect of what you're trying to do. It makes money for your company. But can you understand that it does become a little bit much by Major League Baseball to have Yankee fans on top of Prime, have to get Apple, have to get Peacock? Do you think it's getting a little out of control with the apps? I know it's the future, but there are a lot of people that pay for yes and now feel like that it's kind of an MLB money grab, that there are 3 other apps now they've got to dive into to see their baseball team.
Yeah, and Peacock and Apple, I'm not sure how they're doing or not doing. I mean, Amazon is obviously, we own a small, not a small portion, but we own a quarter of yes. Amazon's one of our big partners, and you mentioned it right about the future. I mean, the thought was this is the way a lot of, younger fans, Gen Zers, millennials, are consuming this stuff, right? And that we were just kind of moving towards the future. But I can't speak to the 2 MLB deals, but that's kind of was our thinking about Amazon, which is it's apparent, especially the Gen Zers. This is how they want to consume content. This is the way they do it. I mean, I'm not that guy. I don't know much about that, but this is the way they consume content.
I'm curious, Hal, because, over the weekend, the Red Sox wore these hideous City Connect uniforms, yellow. It had nothing to do with the Red Sox. I would assume that at one point the Yankees are going to have a City Connect uniform. Are you going to allow it? Is it something that you're going to check off and say, no, this is not good, this doesn't represent the Yankees? How does that stand?
Yeah, I think their colors was the Boston Marathon colors.
Yeah.
That's the reason they have those colors. But I think we might be one of the few teams that does it right now. I'm not having any serious conversations about doing it. I think I understand the reason. And again, I think it appeals to a lot of fans, especially younger fans, and merchandise and all that. But we have not had any serious conversations about doing it. It doesn't mean I won't someday, but I don't even know how that would look, quite frankly. I don't even know what the look would be.
Do you like the new rules?
I love the new rules, as you know. I was on the Labor Policy Committee, so we fought to get those new rules. I think they brought baseball back to the 60s and 70s, with more excitement, less time in between a ball and play. I mean, shorter games. We had the owners' meetings last week, and we looked at some of the stats, and they're just amazing. And I absolutely love them.
I love the fact that you honor your dad with the facial hair and the long hair and all that, but is there any concern that as this becomes more of a players' league and times begin to change, that might be something you might think about having to change and get out in front of at some point?
I mean, I haven't pondered that, to be honest with you. But nobody complains. I mean, the players, they almost think it's it's just unique. They come here and they're like proud that they shaved their beard and got a haircut. I mean, you don't hear any complaints at all. So it's just not something I've thought about. It was important to my dad, without a doubt. And I think it's important to the organization. And, everybody's always on board with it. And that's a good thing.
It makes me sick. And I'm not even a Yankee fan.
Go ahead.
I'm a Met fan, as you know. When I go to a Yankee game or I see Judge 99 on the back of a jersey, it just drives me crazy. And then when I see Ruth 3 and Garrick 4.
Oh, so then ask him why.
Does it bother you when you see that?
Well, and why do you say? And if it does, then why sell jerseys with the name on the back?
It's just my pet peeve. I'm curious what you think about it.
Yeah, you're never going to see. Obviously, you're never going to see names on the back of our jerseys.
Right.
But some fans like that. I mean, they're not. They're obviously not authentic jerseys, and they want the name on the back. They want to see the name Judge, whether it's a younger generation thing or whatever. But, they sell well in both forms. People like them in both forms, but obviously you'll never see that on the players on the field.
But you don't, like Don and Michael, you're not a snob who gets sick when you see people wearing a jersey with the name on the back.
No, I'd get sick if I saw our players wearing a name on the back.
There you go. There you go.
It just bothers me because it's really cool that you don't have names on the back. And then somebody walking around with a Ruth 3? I guess I need help.
No,
but
you do. You do.
If I own the Yankees, I'd put a stop to it.
But the Red Sox at home jerseys, they don't have names on the back, right?
No, they don't.
But they've got
the road
red,
does.
they've got dark blue. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and by the way, they've given up after the yellow I saw last week. I think they've given up.
Come on.
What do you say to Hal's probably thrilled he came on. What do you say to people, Hal, when they go, Hal doesn't spend enough money when you consider what his team makes? So what do you say to people who say that?
But they don't know that I make it. They don't know that I make money. Our expenses are among the highest in baseball. We operate in the most expensive city to operate in the country. And, unlike other cities where the city or the county pays for about 2/3 of the stadium, we pay for 100% of our stadium every year. We have a huge bond payment February 1st, whether or not we have any revenues or not, even during COVID. We put as much into player development and scouting as anybody out there. So, I mean, again, it's great to talk about our revenues, but then you got to talk about the expenses. And, we have significant expenses, believe me, player payroll being the biggest.
It was interesting what you said at the owners' meeting. It caught everybody's eye that you would not be totally adverse to having a cap system. One of the Yankees' strengths, Hal, is your financial strength. Wouldn't that take away some of the financial strength if there was a cap system?
Well, what my response was, I'm not against exploring a salary cap. It depends what the cap is, obviously, but it has to be accompanied by a floor. And the idea would be to address, revenue disparity in the game, and to go back to what I was saying about a fan not showing up at spring training knowing his team has no chance, or her team has no chance even to make the playoffs, much less anything else. So there's a lot of concern in baseball about the industry as a whole, and that we, economic reform, and that we need to look at this. And I just said that I'm willing to consider it and look at it. Depends what the number is, but it has to be accompanied by a floor to address, I believe it was Don's point, of getting certain teams that aren't spending enough to spend more and try to bridge a gap. Could it affect us? No. If I do a good job with player development and have that good balance, that good mix of veterans and young kids like Volpe, like Peraza, then I'm thinking it shouldn't affect it much. But it depends what the number is. I mean, this is all just hypothetical conversation. Right?
You played a huge role, Hal, in getting Judge signed. And you said you're not a man of many hobbies, and you were on a rare vacation to Italy. Did you enjoy any of that vacation?
Yeah, the last 2 days. We ended up somewhere at the French border near a nice Mount Blanc. So that was good. The deal was done. I was on my way getting the deal done, stopped at a rest area, as you know, because I kept going through these 10-mile tunnels and kept losing him on the phone. And, no, the last 2 days were great. But, look, it was a stressful time for Yankee fans, and believe me, for all of us. But in the end, we got the deal done, and that's obviously a great thing because now we can see just how important he is. Right? If we didn't know it before, we now know.
Is that it, guys? I think we've asked Hal everything. Anything else?
He's given us 30 minutes.
I do appreciate everything. Thank you so much, sir.
I mean, I give you credit because these are not easy questions.
No, I've asked Mike for your address, Don, so I can send a check. Maybe you can you give me your address?
Oh, yeah, that's the way. Don't you want the check? You want it in check form. That's something.
Yeah, but he'll never cash the check out. He'll put that in a frame.
No, frame it. Show that's something. Grandkids, that's a pipe dream for me. But at least to the kids, they would appreciate that.
I'd say let's go double or nothing, but I'm not sure the Vikings are even going to win a game next year.
I wouldn't go that far.
The Lions are winning that division, right?
Yeah. There we go.
Did we ever find out why Vikings?
Because of his brother Hank, right?
Brother. Yeah, it was even before we lived in Tampa. Even before the Buccaneers were around, I just started. My brother loved the Tarkenton. Tarkenton was my hero growing up, sports hero. So started early.
Your dad, from what I read, almost bought the Buccaneers. Is that disappointing that he didn't?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've always liked the Buccaneers. They've always been the Browns are my second favorite team because I'm from Cleveland, but I've always rooted for the Bucks. Yeah, that would have obviously it would have been a good investment, but whoever decided it wasn't a good investment at the time decided that.
Hal, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
All right, guys, thanks.
All right, that's Hal Steinbrenner. I'm sure people wanted other questions asked. We asked everything. The answer is what the answer is. Am I right, guys?
That's all you can do. You ask the question, you get the answer, and then you decide for yourself whether you're satisfied or not.
All right. You can call in 1-800-919-3776. You heard what he said. We'll come back in just a moment. But first, Peter's going to tell us about splashing around in the stuff.
Look at you, hostess with the mostest.
How does she do it?
But no one knows that earlier today.
It's not finished?
Oh my.
Oh, come on.
But you kept your cool.
I just planted those?
Sort of. And ordered everything you needed from Lowe's on Instacart. Yeah, look at you. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders.
Beautiful ladies, loving it. Beautiful family, jealous. Bride, it's the best day of your life. There's that smile. That's a keeper. Let's get the lucky men in here, huh? Oh. All right, we got it. Groomsmen. Okay.
Some days are just too important for a trashy suit. Read from thebblacktux.com.
Athletic basketball show.
Folks, the league is in absolute chaos.
Players going off pretty much every other night.
pressure that, when it clears, could leave a few future Hall of Famers.
It might all come down to some rookie taking free throws. Is on pace to break the
The Athletic. Subscribe today.
Em mới sinh ra đời, ngày anh 40, em cũng vừa đôi mươi, tình đời nhiều lúc cái máy cuộc đời mình đang từ cây cuối đó giờ đây, khi em còn chồng đôi anh đã lo việc.
Switch to Square and take charge of your business and your time. Switch to fast setup and even faster checkouts. Switch to making every sale, every way you want, and every way they want too. Switch to one system connecting every tool to every task, even as your business grows. Switch to taking control and taking more free time, whatever that means to you. Make the switch to Square today. Visit square.com to get started.
Can a handyman fix my leaky faucet?
How much does it cost to have my HVAC checked?
How do I know I have mold?
What do water pipes break?
Home questions don't have to keep you up at night. Get peace of mind with Thumbtack. We'll connect you with local pros for any home project, from a small fix to a big remodel. See transparent prices, read verified reviews, and book with just a tap. Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
Everything you love from ShopRite is now in your phone on Instacart. Get free delivery on your first order.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
I have lucid dreams almost every night. I keep thinking I have some kind of double life. Years ago, I came up with the design for a beautiful flowy dress with a pattern made from real flowers. During hard times, I go into survival mode and I have bright dreams every night. Every night, I close my eyes and I find myself inside my brain. I travel through memories and time. I just want to keep dreaming forever.
I chose Upstart because I was on financial aid for school. It did run out. Once I found Upstart, I was kind of relieved. They're interested in my background. They were looking at more than just my credit score. I was able to get my money fast. I was able to consolidate all of those credit cards into one payment and raise my credit score so that I was able to make that move right after college.
Risks as JAK inhibitors. Find what plaque psoriasis has been hiding. Ask your dermatologist about Sotyktu for clearer skin. So clearly you. Sotyktu.
Tonight, catch the Bronx Bombers, only on Prime.
And the Yankees win!
Tonight, Mariners Yankees. Coverage begins at 6:30.
Let's take some phone calls. I'm sure people have very strong opinions on what they just heard. Let's see what you're saying. Jared in West Orange.
Yes, hi. Am I on the show?
Sure you are.
Okay, thank you. Your show's meant a lot to my whole family. It's exciting to be on.
Thanks.
So I wanted to follow up on Don's question about the facial hair issue. Michael, you were talking the other day about how hard it is to find hitters who can contact and for power. And Justin Turner in the Red Sox series seemed to be a hitter like that. And I heard him mention that one of the reasons why he didn't really look at the Yankees was he didn't want to shave his beard.
He really
it seems
said
like
that?
Such a strange.
He really said
it seems
that?
like, yeah, he did. I saw it on one of the ESPN broadcasts, and it just seems like such a small and easy change, and it seems like a real limit to what the Yankees can look for in players these days.
Yeah, but you know what? What's funny though, Jared, is that there are guys that were identified because of their hair. Johnny Damon, Randy Johnson. Not one of them ever fought the policy. Well, I mean, Justin Turner, if the Yankees offered him more money than the Red Sox, he wouldn't shave his beard. I mean, I give him credit if he feels that strongly about it.
Those are bad examples, Michael, because they were competing for a championship. I mean, so coming to the Yankees and a chance to win a championship, I don't think you're going to let a beard stand in your way. But, if this team ever got into a funk where there's multiple options to go possibly win a championship, could it be maybe a deciding factor on why you chose one team over the Yankees? It could be.
Well, he did say he's considered it.
Well, he doesn't think about it much because it hasn't been an issue, but I did get a sense that if it ever did become an issue and it did affect them building a quality roster, he would have to revisit it. He'd be nuts not to. But I don't think there's ever been a situation, Michael, where there was a player that wanted to be here, they wanted him, and didn't come here because he'd have to shave his beard.
Right.
Like, I don't think that's ever been to that point.
And if they ever, here's my thought on it. If you're ever going to change it or consider changing it, you got to do it before that player happens.
That's right.
Because then that player becomes a pariah to fans that like the policy. You know what I mean? Like if you, let's just say you go out and you get Juan Soto and he has a beard. And he said, well, I'm not signing here unless I can have my beard. That then could turn him into a bad guy. So you don't want that. If you're ever going to change it, you got to change it before it becomes something that's forced. That makes sense.
Right. Yeah, get out in front of it, like I said. And it sounded like he might have an appetite if it becomes an issue, but it doesn't sound like
Pete Alonso just hit a 2-run home run.
Yeah, 9-8. Oh, my God. This game's in the top of the 6th, Michael.
I cannot. I am going to really be bummed out when they invariably lose 13-12.
Well, this is, again, they're a team right now, the Mets. If they don't get a quality start, they're dead. Because now you're into the real underbelly of this bullpen and still have to get a ton of outs. So they're climbing back in. The offense is doing a decent job, but
it's too
are they
many
going to
outs.
be able to hold the Astros to 9 when there's still 12 outs to get?
Let's go to Mickey in Williamsburg. Mickey?
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Michael, I'm doing well. I love the show, and I just want to say I just finished listening to the Hal interview, and I'll preface it saying that I'm a huge Mets fan since 1969, but I do have to say you guys asked him tough questions, and the way he answered them, that's what all owners should be like.
Well, you know what? I've actually told him off the air, Mickey, that he really represents himself and the team very well when he does speak. And I think fans get a better understanding. And I think he should do it more. I think he should be the face of the organization. And, he's there at all the big press conferences. But I also give him credit that he doesn't hide. I mean, how many times do other owners talk? When's the last time we talked to Woody Johnson?
Hardly ever. I think we had Woody on one time from MetLife maybe a decade ago.
Right, and we had I guess we've had Dolan on twice, so he keeps a low profile. John Marish comes on with us more at camp.
Yeah.
And also had a very nice 20th anniversary message. That was nice. But a lot of owners don't want to make themselves available. Not a big deal, but I think it is a big deal if it helps the way fans perceive what you're doing, right?
Yeah, because I don't think most people have a great feeling for their owner unless you win. That's what it is, right? If you win, they love you. If you lose, they hate you. But because you really don't get a chance to get to know these guys. They're just, in a lot of cases, just billionaires. But the one thing that's rare about the Yankees is that it's a family-owned business. This is the family business. This isn't some multi-billionaire that decided to dabble and play with a toy that's worth a lot of money.
And I like that answer, too, by the way, about leaving. I'm having no interest in leaving because it really is what he does.
And there's not too many family businesses outside. Well, you look in New York, Michael, we've got a few here. I guess you could say Dolan, and certainly, but they made their money other places. But, you know, Dolan got it from his dad, and Mara from his dad. It's a family business with the Giants. It's a family business with the Yankees. It's something that's, I think, kind of cool and rare in sports nowadays.
Well, Bay Ridge Honda is your family-owned and operated dealer here for over 60 years.
Em mới sinh ra đời ngày anh 40 em cũng vừa đôi mươi tình đời nhiều lúc về may cuộc đời nghìn đắng từ cây cuối đó giờ đây khi em còn chồng nồi anh đã lo việc.
Everything you love from ShopRite is now in your phone on Instacart. Get free delivery on your first order.
Having those high interest credit cards, it felt unmanageable. My name is Belinda, and with Upstart, I was able to save money with a personal loan. From the moment that I checked my rate to getting that approval was just a few minutes. I felt relieved having the funds in my account so quickly. I was able to turn all of those, big payments into one small payment, and I was able to breathe.
Easy online borrowing. Personal loans up to $50,000. Go to Upstart.com.
On June 6th, Rachel walked toward new opportunities to start her next chapter with a little help from her Talkspace therapist, Alex. Talkspace. Get personally matched today with a therapist who can give you a little help too.
I'm cooking without a recipe. I now have a signature cocktail. It's not a drink. It's an adventure. I'm giving a charming impromptu toast. I'm discussing astrophysics in a casual conversation. What? Surprise.
Blame it on Masterclass. Learn from the best to become your best with thousands of online lessons. Now just $10 a month.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
It's about trick plays, and if ever
that local hero, national champ, now he's home and expected to save the back and continue to go forward with hope as the plan.
What's up, guys? I wish this was in person so I could buy each and one of you a beer or something.
Let's play the game.
Hey, guys, am I dreaming or can we actually win this thing?
Bonobos presents A Course in Style with Justin Rose. Justin Rose, champion golfer with a champion swing. How does he do it? Well, let's take a closer look. Is it his flawless form, elite balance, consistent accuracy? Yes, and also those pants. Give me a little more of those pants, will you? Style, comfort, a great fit. These babies can do it all.
Wherever your tour takes you.
We just signed the lease on our third shop. I guess we're a chain now, right? We worked so hard to get here. My assistant went to CustomInc.com to get our new uniforms and merch with all the location names. Our custom gear helps him get our brand out into the community. He takes care of all of our Custom Ink orders. He was able to find great products, upload the new art, and have boxes sent directly to each of the shops. Custom Ink makes it so easy. Get started today at customink.com.
See everything your restaurant can do with tools from Square. Get a POS that connects to a KDS so you can handle orders ASAP. Reach more customers with online ordering and QR codes. Use pocket-sized hardware so you can turn tables faster. And get one account for everything so you can take care of it all and take it easy, too. Get your all-in-one restaurant system and sign up at square.com today.
Street legends are born here.
Take it to the hole. My crossover sick, you know I got soul.
Watch NYC Summer Hoops live from Gerst Park, streaming on the S app.
Family's health and remove the risk. Go to fda.gov/health playbook.
You're watching Yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
We all smoked in those days. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now.
I was so pleased today, Don. Went into my email inbox, and you know what I had there? Do you have any idea? It brought such joy to me.
Joy?
Yeah. Something that I've been politicking for, expecting, been hurt that it never happened before. It finally happened.
Well, did I get anything? Would I have gotten this?
I would think that you would have to have gotten it, but you expect it.
Is this a Kenny Albert barbecue invite?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know. Maybe I got to see.
No, I had to turn it down. I had to turn it down.
After all that, you had to turn it down.
That's
and I'm going to tell you why. It's serious. The day that it's on is the only day that I could visit my daughter at camp. That's the visiting day. So I can't go.
Well, I don't want to get too. You can do both.
No, I can't. Her camp is 2 hours and 45 minutes away.
Can you tell us like the vicinity of the camp, or is that asking?
I'd rather not say, but it's 2 hours and 45 minutes away.
Oh my! Oh, well, you'll be missed.
Oh, I'm just so thrilled, and I'm even more thrilled that it sounds like you didn't get invited yet.
I'm looking. When did you get it? Today?
Late last night, I think.
Oh, because I don't.
Don, I'm sorry. I had to pick one, and with Michael's pressure, I went with him. You're out.
Oh, the kids look forward to the pool. He's got a nice pool.
So do you.
That is true.
Yeah. Well, how exciting is it to go to someone else's pool?
I mean, if it has human waste in it, like we spoke about earlier.
Oh, that's my kind
story.
of pool.
There it is.
You got it?
Yes. Camp Albert. Got it.
It's called Camp Albert?
Yeah, Camp Albert.
Now, did he send that to your personal or the ESPN address?
God could have emailed me the meaning of life on my ESPN.
You would never know. Okay. I was hoping maybe I'd have one waiting for me, you know?
No, I don't think
that's quality. You know why? Because he came into the studio, he saw you, and I think...
but that's why I thought maybe I'd get an invite.
You didn't?
I didn't check my ESPN yet.
Oh, does he have your
Michael,
email?
where did he write you?
I'm like Don. It could be the meaning of life, and I wouldn't get it on the ESPN account.
So then he didn't write me at my ESPN.
No, and
we're like the one company he doesn't work for, right?
I have a feeling there's no chance on God's green earth that you would be invited. I schnurred my way into being invited.
He did, and it always
really
works
did.
for Michael too. But Kenny's book's coming out in October.
Listen, I've always been an
and I'm going to get an advance copy.
I've always been a Steve Albert guy, so I understand. Yeah. Big time.
What about Al?
Love Al.
Those are his uncles. So it's not like you're going against them.
Yeah, but they're all, let's be honest, they're all in the same battle of Best Albert. And for me, it was Al's work as voice of the Pacers that sets him apart. That's what I think.
I mean, they're first place with Marv. Everybody else is battling for second.
Yeah, Steve did Golden State for a while, too, right?
Steve more than
the Nets, too.
Steve did Golden State, did the Nets, but he also did so many boxing events for Showtime during all those years. It was tremendous. A lot of Tyson fights on the Steve Albert watch.
I'm going to ask Kenny if maybe he could transfer my invite to you, Peter.
Oh, that would be
not
nice.
Going.
When is this?
I can't. I don't want to give it the date.
Oh, you want the address too?
Well, that's different.
People will show up. You know that. He's
Nothing
kind
like
of a big deal. You don't think that way because
I think
we
he's
all
a big,
know him. He's a big deal.
I think Kenny's a big deal. That's why I was disappointed when you gave me the list of celebrities at his thing. I thought it was
like I said, he may disagree. He's better than his dad.
Wow, come on, you can't think that.
First of all, you're such a jerk, Don. Marv listens to the show.
But what do you think I do this? What are we doing this show through our own answering machine? I know people listen. Right now, there's a chance that Marv is. He told me
on the treadmill.
He's on the treadmill watching.
Right.
I'm not hiding from the opinions that I have.
You think Marv is not as good as his son Kenny? Fact. That's what you feel.
That's what I said. I really, Don, I love you like a really strange brother. You have never been more wrong. Well, Kenny is excellent at what he does. Marv Albert's one of the greatest broadcasters of all time.
Now, could Marv do basketball better than Kenny?
Sure he did.
Could he do hockey better than Kenny?
Yeah.
Perhaps, yeah.
Could he do football better than Kenny?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could he? Baseball, we don't know.
Boxing?
Marv has done, but Kenny's done it all.
Kenny's tremendous with the football.
His versatility.
But here's how about this? Look, can I split the difference? Because Don hasn't been very good these days in terms of reading whether he insults people or not. Here may have been a nice, good place to split the difference. Kenny will never be the legend his father is, and that I do believe. He will never be the legend that Marv is. But you think he's a better broadcaster?
That's right.
But see how I gave a little something? You got to give Marv.
Marv's more famous.
Marv is the legend. I mean, he's the patriot.
When he was at one of the barbecues, it was like, whoa.
Well, that's Marv.
I'm talking to Marv Allen.
Yes, Andy's here.
I mean, no offense to Kenny. I talk to Kenny. I don't walk away going, whoa, I just talked to Kenny Albert.
Right. But Marv is Marv.
Right, but I'm sorry. I'm just giving opinions. That's
and you know what? Some of your opinions this week have been trash. I got to be honest with you.
Name one.
He stands by
that
all
one
of
that
them.
you just said right now. The one about Jeff Passan.
I think we talked through it, and you actually agree.
No,
the Jeff Passan brother, it's all fact. And people, people pick up things and get it all twisted. I'm driving in today, and Alan's like, "Oh, did you hear Don yesterday?"
I heard him. He was
say
right.
That, John Smoltz has passed Jeff Passan. I never said he passed him. I said he could pass him if we got to know him better. Nobody trashed anybody. I'm sorry. I give opinions. All right? I don't worry about feelings, okay? Because it's sports. It's not supposed to mean anything. But I have opinions. I'm not going to sit there and dance around the issues. I'm not afraid about breaking some eggs, making this omelet we call the show.
I understand, but your omelet stinks. If you think that Kenny's better than Marv, he's just not.
He's not as legendary. He's just better.
Forget about a legendary.
Marv can't do all the things that Kenny does. Can't do it.
Could Kenny do the 6 and 11 news? No, Marv did. Could he be a host of every NBC wraparound show, NBC football show? No. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. And you're putting me in a position of ripping Kenny, and I'm not.
But again, nobody's ripping anybody. We're talking about two of the legends of the sport. My God, the fact that you come in second and you talk about it like I'm insulting people. I'm sorry, there's a pecking order here.
Well, your pecking order is wrong.
I have my opinions, and I think Kenny's wonderful.
Well, you're allowed to think Kenny's wonderful. And Michael, why do you have to force him to see it the way you see it?
I'm not.
You think Marv's better.
I'm not forcing him. I'm just hoping that he sees the light and it doesn't continue to be a nudnik.
No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give opinions. If you want me to just say yes, sir, no, sir, Michael K., I agree, come on 100%, we can do that. It'll be less work for me.
No, I want you to give opinions. I just want you to give better ones.
Well, no, I give opinions. You can grade them any way you want.
All right, we'll take a brief time out, see if we can get through this right here on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
The Michael K. Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining.
Backyard Golf Oasis. Hi, I'm LPGA Tour player Natalie Govas. I'm excited to say that your dream is within reach thanks to the premium synthetic turf products from Golf Greens by Foreverlawn. Imagine this, a backyard with your own custom putting green where you can practice your short game and entertain guests. You choose the design of your golf green and surrounding landscape with the help of a Forever Long Golf Greens expert. Jimmy, you need a little help with your putting.
Visit golfgreens.com to schedule a free consultation today.
You done yet? It's 2 a.m. Why are you still scrolling through videos? You're not paying me overtime here. If you really want to see something new, why not change those shades that have been broken for the past 2 years? Let's tap the Thumbtack app, and in a matter of seconds, we'll find a pro to install new shades.
Okay.
With Thumbtack, you can easily find top-rated professionals for every home project.
Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
When you want to celebrate a special moment, or give the perfect gift,
Ooh, thanks.
or make the perfect statement, or when you just want to express yourself, you want Zazzle. Discover it, make it, share it, love it. Create it at Zazzle.com. When you want to celebrate a special moment, or give the perfect gift,
Ooh, thanks.
or make the perfect statement, or when you just want to express yourself, you want Zazzle. Discover it, make it, share it, love it. Create it at Zazzle.com.
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
Strikeouts, like I thought at bats were building off of last night. I thought we grinded out really well. We made it really tough on Kramer.
Well, that was Aaron Boone's unfortunate comments from yesterday. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Monday. It's a new week for the K Show, July 31st, 2023. Michael K., Don LaGreca, and Peter Rosenberg. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. And we will start with Diamond Notes, brought to you by London Jewelers.
Do it.
I think everybody who listens to this show knows that I have an affinity for Aaron Boone. And I don't expect for Aaron Boone to, after a game, light his team on fire. That doesn't serve anybody. But he has to also realize you're in the entertainment business. Your fans are upset. You just played a terrible game on national television. You know, other than the strikeouts, he was happy with their at-bats. They struck out 67% of the time.
Man.
They struck out 18 times out of 27 possible outs.
Don't insult the public. That's the last thing you want to do.
That's insulting. I mean, that's like urinating on my head and telling me it's raining. What are you doing?
No.
I mean, it's borderline. It's borderline a serious. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the show?
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is, Peter.
I thought he was like goofing. It sounds like a goof.
And you know what? It reads like a goof. It's a tone-deaf thing to say to a fan base that's rightfully red hot about the way the team is playing. And then you come out and say, other than the strikeouts, well, you struck out 67% of the time. What are you doing? I'm not saying that he should come out and say, my offense stinks. Don't even bring up other than the strikeouts. I mean, it's a silly thing to say. Aaron is smarter than that.
Why is it one or the other? Why is anything critical of your team, any negative critique of your team, killing them? Are we that sensitive now that you can't even bring up an actual event because it might crush the team? They know they struck out 18 times.
Right.
I mean, I would almost, that would be like us going out there and doing a radio show, Peter, and all we did for 4 hours go, blah, 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 blah. And then our boss going, great job. I never thought of doing it that way. You'd be like, I have no respect for this guy. I don't think he knows what he's doing. Like, at some point, Michael, all of the compliments and the roses at the feet of these professional athletes, some of them veterans of almost a decade of baseball, are looking at him as a complete buffoon.
Well, I mean, but first of all, Anthony Rizzo struck out 5 times.
Right.
You struck out 18 times as a team. And then you're saying, other than that, I liked our bats. I mean, it's insulting. I think Peter said that. It's insulting. Again, your fan base is red hot. Give them a little pound of flesh. Don't rip your team, but don't bring up that nonsense. Tone deaf. Tone deaf. Now, I know a lot of Yankee fans today are very unhappy that Aaron Judge didn't play yesterday. And I'm going to try to rationalize it, not explain it. Or I'm going to try to explain it, not excuse it. There's no way that he was playing every single game until next Thursday when they're off between the White Sox series and the Miami series. There's no way coming back from that injury. So this is not a Boone decision. You want to get mad? Get mad at the Sport and Science Department. Because I'm going to tell you, the way the Yankees are run, okay, there is no gray area. So there's no wiggle room. You know what, let's try to win this series and rest them on Monday. There's none of that. Everything is so cut and dried. Every decision is inarguable. So, yeah, I knew he wasn't going to play every single day. And these games against Tampa Bay are probably just as important as the games against Baltimore. But the fact that they're so intractable on everything is so distressing. Just for the optics of it, could he have DH'd yesterday? Did they ask him, could you go? But their sport and science department, just like their analytic department, it's so rigid. It's too much.
It's way too much. And it's not even reading the room. Because there's not every game is created equal. Because you had a chance to win a series. Now, maybe if you had taken the first 2 games of the series, you could say, all right, listen, we won a series. Let's rest him. Now let's go out and win the Tampa series. But you had a chance to win a series. Never mind the fact the game's on national television. That they don't care about that. But still, I'm sure Major League Baseball wasn't happy. The return of Judge, and he's not on Sunday Night Baseball. And the sad thing, guys, is that if they decided to start him after Severino gave up 7 runs in the first inning, you could have benched him. All right, so there's going to be moments where we're going to start you, but if the game gets out of hand either way, we can limit your at-bats, we could DH you. I understand treating him with kid gloves, but to not play him in a very important game following up a huge win on Saturday, I think it's just tone deaf. And you know who else is at fault here, guys? You know who deserves a bit of blame?
Who?
Aaron Judge. Why can't Aaron Judge say, no, I'm playing? I'm the captain of the team. You gave me all this money. No, I'm playing. I don't care what the analytics say. I'm going out there, and I'm playing. We need this game, guys. You don't think they'd be all charged up if he said, screw it, I'm going out and playing? Is that all gone now? Players have, well, they'll get managers hired and fired. They'll take to social media to complain about this, that, and the other thing. But how about fighting a little bit for a chance to play?
Well, we don't know if he did.
Well, no, because I know he didn't, because he would have won. He has got the credentials.
Would not have won.
No, you walk out.
You, they're
I don't care.
intractable.
I'm the captain of the team.
They cannot be convinced that everything they decide is right.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know, if I'm Aaron Judge, as much as I'm a team guy, if I'm in the middle of an 8-year contract and I'm the captain of the team, then you're going to make me sit. Then I'm not going to lie to the media and say I was on board with it. I would say to the media, I wanted to play. They forced me to sit. He's Aaron Judge, for God's sakes. He's not some role player. He's not Rizzo. He's not Gleyber Torres. He's Aaron Judge. He's the captain of the team. He's the face of the Yankees. There's no way that I would sit there and lie for them. If I wanted to play, all right, listen, what am I going to do? Am I going to run out into the field when my name is not on the lineup card? No. But I'm not going to sit there and eat it after the game and say I was on board with it. I would tell the team, I want to play, Peter. I wanted to play, and they forced me to sit.
I'm in lockstep with Don on this. I think you're absolutely right, and that's completely doable, especially with Don. The man can't get in trouble, okay? He practically owns the team. Aaron Judge might as well be named Aaron Rodgers in the Bronx, right? He really does run this team. But, Michael, is the other piece here that as important as the Orioles series is, they view the next 2 series as more important? The Orioles are in first place.
I think these all 10 games are important. So, as I said, they're going to have to rest them at some point. But, you know, they've lost now 4 straight rubber games. That's why they're not winning series. So, could they have rested them Monday? Could they have rested them today? But today's big, too. I mean, they're burying themselves. They really are burying themselves. So, there aren't games that you could give away. And as I said, there's no way after you miss 2 months that they're playing them every single game until next Thursday. They're just not.
No, but...
So they have to choose the day, but they chose to do it on national television. Now, they did say he was available as a pinch hitter, right? Well, they had the bases loaded, I believe, in the second or third inning. Second inning, why wouldn't you pinch hit him for Higashioka there? He hits a home run there at 7-5. The whole thing changes. So what were you waiting for? Well, really, what at bat were you waiting for? If he was available to pinch hit, that was the spot right there. Now, I'm sure they would tell you, well, if we pinch hit for him and then we have Wortvet behind the plate, we don't have a backup catcher. You do. You have IKF. So you have an emergency catcher if Wortvet got hurt. Wasn't that the spot to use him?
When they say he's available to pinch hit, I guess the idea is in the 8th or 9th inning, where he's not going to stay in the game.
But why? The game was over. I mean, Severino gave up 6 runs before getting an out.
Because the temptation would have been, if he hits the grand slam, makes it 7-5, you're going to keep him in the game.
Well, they resisted the temptation of starting him, Don, so they could resist that temptation.
Right. But yeah,
what a bat.
You're right. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe they just said that he was available to pinch hit in that one moment where it would have been the last out, the last available opportunity. They did not want to play him. But not every game is equal. I think it's important to win a series. Now, you take the first 2 against Tampa and you want to rest them on Wednesday, I can understand that. Or you go into the Chicago series saying, hey, we don't need to start him in that game against Chicago. Maybe we can win without him. There's other times, but I just think after the win, he had homered. Because, Michael, I think if he doesn't homer in that game, they're probably going to lose Saturday. I know they scored a bunch of tack-on runs. That was a big moment. And you got nothing out of it by having him sit and then Severino giving you nothing in the first inning.
It's beyond, just to see, to deviate a bit and talk about the importance of Judge, right? So on Friday, they lose 1-0. Judge hits a bullet in his first at bat to right field, caught by Santander. Then they walked him 3 times. Any right-thinking team, that's what you would do. Why would they pitch to him on Saturday so he could hurt him like that? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Just like anybody who's pitching to Shohei Ohtani should have their head examined. Why would you do it?
Well, the Blue Jays questioned it right away. What did he give a home run in the first inning? Why are we pitching to this guy?
And you know what, though, Don? After Matt Chapman said that to John Snyder, he said, why are we pitching this guy? He's the only guy who can hit. They walked him the rest of the series.
Right.
So you can't be a hero. You can't be a hero. So somebody gave us a stat last night. Over the last 200 games, the Yankees are 101-99. It's a 500 team.
A lot of those games are Judge, too.
Right. So, I by the way, I did finally capitulate and went to a doctor today.
Oh, good for you.
And in the office, what are the Yankees going to do? I don't know. I have no idea. We heard Grichuk, he's been traded. We heard Clay Bellinger, he's not being traded by the Cubs because they're as far back as the Yankees are right now. So why would they trade him?
Mm-hmm.
We heard Jordan Hicks, he's been traded. So everything.
And Bellinger off the table.
Bellinger's off the table. Yeah. So Ohtani's off the table. What are they? Is there anything they could do that would improve a 500 team over the last year and a half? Is there anything? I mean, they have until 6 o'clock tomorrow. And I don't know what the Yankees are going to do. I mean, are they going to patchwork it? Are they going to get like so-so? I think here's what it comes down to. Unless they go out and they get Juan Soto, somebody like that ilk. What are they going to do that's going to change this other than Anthony Rizzo over the last 2 months is at 164? DJ LeMahieu is a 230 hitter. Giancarlo Stanton can't run. What are they going to do other than those guys have to play well? If those guys don't play well, as great as Aaron Judge is, then what are they going to do? If Severino can't get out of the first inning without allowing 6 runs, what exactly could they do? So I don't see the solution here. I don't know what. I mean, Brian Cashman is being very stealth. I have no idea what he's doing. I have no idea what he's aiming for. I have no idea if they're selling. And the selling part to me, guys, that's also laughable. What are they selling? You can't move Stanton. You can't. You can't move Rizzo. You can't. You could probably lose Torres. You can move Torres, and there's a lot of noise that Miami is really pushing the Yankees on Torres. Okay, so that leaves a huge hole offensively. You're going to bring up Peraza, who hasn't been able to hit? So, guys, I don't know what they're doing. I wish I had more information. If I do, I'll give it to you. I have no idea where they're trending on this or what they should do. I mean, if the guys in the lineup don't hit, they have no chance anyway. I've said that over and over again. And the more they don't hit, the more asinine it is to pitch to Judge. Is that fair?
Very fair. I think what you saw on Friday is going to be what every team's going to try to do. And Rizzo got on just before. What was the situation? There was no. Was it first and when the home run was first and just first, right? When he hit the 2-run home run to take the lead on Saturday.
Right.
So, I guess because first base wasn't open, they decided to pitch to him. I would have probably still walked him. I think everybody's going to just start walking him, or at least pitch around him.
Greg Joyce, who covers the Yankees for the Post on Twitter, said Johnny Brito has a locker in the Yankees clubhouse. No roster moves announced yet. I mean, what does that mean for Severino? Who's Johnny Brito's up here, I would think, to start.
Yes.
In place of who? And also, you know what you're doing if you're the Yankees right now, if you don't make any moves? You're wasting the prime of Cole and Judge. Garrett Cole was breathtakingly great on Friday. 7 shutout innings. What more do you want the guy to do? Through the most pitches he's thrown all year.
Right.
And they don't score for him.
He could have went 9. He still wasn't going to win that game.
Yeah, he could have gone 11. I mean, it seemed like one of those games. Well, the Orioles are going to score at some point. What time? And listen, Tommy Kahnle's a good pitcher. And obviously he's forgotten more pitching than I'll ever know. And the Yankee front office and their pitching, whatever. I said this on the air on Friday. You can't throw 15 changeups in a row. I mean, you got to mix in a fastball. I know that their analytics group said, listen, don't mess with the fastball because your changeup's your best pitch, and it is. But unless you show a fastball, what exactly is a changeup?
Mm-hmm. Just a
so
slow
waste
pitch.
the fastball up and in. Waste it away where it can't be hit. So it gives a different look. All he did on Friday was throw changeups. And that's not just Friday. He does it all the time. And his changeup is out of this world. But you know what Santander did? He sold out on a changeup. I don't know why everybody doesn't. He never throws a fastball. So even if the changeup drops and you sell out on it, Santander almost hit it onto Utah Street. But I'm telling you, everybody, the problem with analytics, and especially this team's analytics, they're so damn rigid. We're resting Judge on Sunday. Doesn't matter that you need the game. We're resting Judge on Sunday, period. The best pitch for Kahnle to throw, changeup. Don't mess with the fastball. Rigid. You can't deviate. Rigid. You would think now that they're sitting in last place, that some of the rigidity would soften a bit. Maybe, just a little bit. But no, because I've said this before. I'll say it again, and I know they don't like when I say it. But you know what? I got to be honest to our listeners. You can't question them. They're never wrong. You can't question them. And when you do, they go, oh, we do it again. That's what the numbers say. That's what you're dealing with. And right now, it looks like one of those years where it's just not working out. I still think the talent's there to make the playoffs and not that far out. There's no need to sit there and give up the ship 3.5 games out of a playoff spot. No, there's not. There's 2 months left. But it's not trending right. We're expecting players that have not hit for the entire season to hit. What's happened to Anthony Rizzo? What happened to him? And I need to know from somebody, a very healthy young man who used to be an unbelievable athlete, why Giancarlo Stanton can't run. Why? Why is that? Why? Why can he not run? There's nothing wrong with him, so why is there an inability for him to sprint? I'd like to know. And there's still 4 more years of Giancarlo Stanton. Untradeable, blanket, no trade clause. And 3 more years of DJ LeMahieu, who has shown some life lately, but not enough. Not enough. Not at 230. He's got to hit better than that. Those are Diamond Notes brought to you by London Jewelers, the engagement experts. Visit London Jewelers today, any of their 7 locations, including the newest location at the mall at Short Hills. All right, so I have a severe infection in my right sinus.
Oh.
Going to start taking medicine tonight. Hopefully it goes away. The constant coughing has not destroyed my vocal cords,
Good.
which was my fear, because doctors I tell did a great job. But boy,
they said that's not a problem. They said that stuff's okay.
They looked at it. They put the hose
see
down my
anything.
nose.
Okay.
And they said it's pristine. Okay, good. That's what I wanted to hear, but it's just brutal. I'm coughing so much it feels like my ribs are going to explode.
When I heard it on the car and on the call earlier, Don.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a Don LaGreca hold my beer cough. It was, dare I say, troubling.
It feels troubling.
Well, it looks like you're on the path to recovery.
Well, you never know. Because listen to this, Peter. I took an early train from Baltimore on Saturday morning because I was going to surprise Don and show up.
No.
Yeah.
That was my plan.
I had a feeling he was going to try that.
I wanted to go so bad, and when I got home, I felt like I was, God forbid, dying. And then I'm coughing. I said, I don't know what I have here. I don't want to get people sick. So I just laid in bed all day.
Come on.
Yeah. I couldn't make it. And I texted Don. I apologized. He didn't. I never told him I was going to be there, but I just wanted to know that the desire was there.
I appreciate that. I had a feeling, Peter, when I saw the game was on Fox. I'm like, you know what? I have Michael's gonna show. But unfortunately, it's so crazy. I didn't see the text until the game was over. Because you sent it around 3:30, and that's about what time I got there, and then I just get pulled in
Right, because I figured that was the last chance for me to leave my house and get there. And I tried to push it, and I just couldn't do it.
Well, you missed a good
Sorry.
time.
Heard it was great.
A lot of people came out. It was so much fun. The weather held out. The skies opened up at like 6:45, right, Peter? Like, if we had played any longer, we would have gotten drenched. I mean, sideways rain. But it didn't happen until after the game was over. It was beautiful before then. And I got to say it, Peter. Shout out to the company. They were there.
Wow.
They were there in force. We had a nice little back and forth. I'm not sure that any ground was broken, at least between me and Lonnie. But from the company standpoint, I think everybody's on board. And Lonnie and I are good. We just don't see eye to eye on certain things. But they came. They had said, can you get the widow Sasso? Can you get Anna Marie Sasso? And they presented her with a check. They not only came and played, they lost their game earlier in the day, but they stayed for the game, and they were rooting us on, and they came financially prepared. So shout out to the company. All the love.
So,
excellent.
So you've gone from you cut people off if they said shout out to the company to you're saying shout out for the company.
I still told them we're going to do our show, and if I feel
That's
like going after you say shout out to the company, then you're going to have to live with it. And everybody pretty much got it,
Class acts.
But listen, that's what it's all about. They're part of the family, and I wanted to give them a shout out for that. And I know Peter, I know they interviewed you and me, and they love stuff on social media.
They interviewed me. They bullied me into giving them a drop, and I did.
Yeah, and that's fine. But it's what they do. But I thought it was terrific, and
that's nice.
And I had a moment, Michael, but everybody really appreciated it. I wanted to keep playing. I only got 2 at bats. Not for nothing. It takes a long time to organize this thing. And so when the game's over, we got crushed because obviously the team we played was very good. I mean, really, just not even competitive. But we made some plays and did some things. A tremendous double play was pulled off by Peter Rosenberg to Grassa to me. Fantastic.
Beautiful.
I'm like, you know what? I had 2 at bats. I had 2 hits, but I'm like, I'm sorry. I got to try to go yard. I said, we're continuing this game. First pitch, boom, hit the stands. Felt good. Peter threw water on me. I really felt like a pro.
They just showed it on Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful swing. Peter's swing, another thing.
Oh, I struggle.
Well, did you see somebody on social media took a picture of Peter's swing? And then I'm in the background. I'm sure.
Tremendous shot.
Peter, I'm sure that look had nothing to do with your swing, but the way.
The look was so troubling.
Oh, but it was a lot of fun. So thanks to Greg and Marty and Danico and Anita and Grassa and everybody that came out. It was great.
Was Daughtry there?
Bill Daughtry, our manager, yes.
Well, you got to thank him, right?
Got to thank Bill. I just didn't want to go through the whole list. We got a show to do, but yeah, everybody knows who they are.
I guess I've made a mistake, so I'm like a pariah. I keep calling Cody Bellinger Clay. His name's Cody. I think everybody knows that, clowns. Well, I apologize.
But obviously he knows. It's just...
No. I have to be perfect. I realize that. I realize it. It's game time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Yankees and the Rays. The Mets are off today. That's it. We'll talk about the Mets trading Scherzer. Obviously, that was a shocker because you figured it was going to be Verlander who got traded, and that's still a possibility. That's game time, brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. During the big games this season, enjoy Tullamore Dew, the original triple blended, triple distilled, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Remember, when it's game time, it's Tully time. Please enjoy responsibly. All right, we'll come back. We'll take some phone calls. A lot of people are upset. I understand why. Lose 2 out of 3 in Baltimore, so the Big Ten game stretch does not start off great. 1-800-919-3776. But first,
All right, here we go. It's a big responsibility to be a designer. Dagny Dover is a bag brand based in New York City, founded by 3 women. We make hyper-functional, performance-driven bags. That's like a mouthful. We're all about getting the most out of life. When you're organized and you have your things together, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can live life intentionally. Oh, it's pronounced Dagny Dover. Dagny means new dawn. It's a new dawn for fashion.
Listen, we get that ordering a suit online can seem a little risky. That's why we have a home try-on program. Go to thebblacktux.com/try. With so many good options, it might be hard to choose. We'll ship your selection to you to try out for 48 hours on us. When it arrives, put it on and make sure every detail's perfect. Once your 2 days are up, pack it back in the box, attach the free shipping label, and send it back to us. And when you're ready to rent for real, just head back to the Black Tux and make your order official.
Welcome to the Aura Sleep Lab. You need a bit more deep sleep. Getting enough high-quality sleep increases immunity. Why? Because sleep helps fend off sickness. A good night's sleep boosts your number of infection-fighting antibodies and cells. And with your Aura Ring, you can learn how to sleep deep and keep your immunity up. It's like having a sleep lab on your finger. Go to sleep with auraring.com.
Everything you love from ShopRite is now in your phone on Instacart. Get free delivery on your first order.
Udemy. No matter how you say it, it's the top online learning destination with thousands of courses.
Udemy can help you start a new career.
Or just learn something new.
What have you always wanted to learn?
You want to know what I've been binge watching? Udemy courses. They have thousands of courses that help me advance my career from anywhere. I need to get in as much learning as I can, for both of us.
Can a handyman fix my leaky faucet?
How much does it cost to have my HVAC checked?
How do I know I have mold?
What do water pipes break?
Home questions don't have to keep you up at night. Get peace of mind with Thumbtack. We'll connect you with local pros for any home project, from a small fix to a big remodel. See transparent prices, read verified reviews, and book with just a tap. Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
Street legends are born here.
Take it to the hole. My crossover sick, you know I got soul.
Watch NYC Summer Hoops live from Gersh Park, streaming on the S app.
2023 Towser Take One.
Subway refreshed everything, and now they're slicing their deli meats fresh. That's why this QB prefers a new 5-meat beast.
And this QB prefers it.
And if we prefer it,
we know you'll prefer it too.
Are you trying to out-spokesperson me?
Maybe.
Temperatures are on the rise. Beat the heat this summer by scheduling your $69 air conditioning tune-up now with A.J. Perry. An annual AC tune-up can save you money and help prevent costly breakdowns during the hottest months of the year. Schedules will fill up fast, so keep your family cool all summer long by calling A.J. Perry today for your $69 AC tune-up. Call 844-668-7555 to schedule your appointment.
And that, my friend, is why
I love those guys.
So it's decided. We'll park even deeper into parking spaces so people think they're open.
Surprise.
Can't hear you, Jerry.
Sorry. Yeah, can we get a system where when someone's bike is in the shop, then we could borrow someone else's?
No. Or you can get a quote with America's #1 motorcycle insurer and maybe save some money while you're at it.
All in favor of that?
There's a lot of buttons and knobs in here.
Intuitive sit to start in the all-electric ID4. It's the little things. It's a VW. Visit your Volkswagen dealer today and lease the all-electric 2023 ID4 Pro for just $349 a month. Limited inventory available.
America, come along with our adventure seekers, the Sanchez family, and discover summer with the Ford F-150. See how available features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist make backing up as easy as turning a knob. Watch as Pro Power on board lights up the night. And Ford Blue Cruise makes driving even more fun. Now get an F-150 or F-150 Lightning with 3.9% financing for 60 months plus $1,500 bonus cash. View more offers at buyfordnow.com.
You could pick from hundreds of law firms for your mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer case. But would you be confident that you made the best choice? Whites & Luxembourg is the firm that has represented more asbestos disease clients than any other firm in the metropolitan area. With 30 years experience, they have New York's highest recorded asbestos verdicts of all time. The choice is clear, and the stakes could not be higher.
Whites & Luxembourg has our backs.
Call Whites & Luxembourg today.
Call 1-888-411-LAWS. That's 1-888-411-LAWS.
Bottom of the ninth. John Carlos Stanton. See ya! A walk-off grand slam!
We gonna turn it up.
All right, let's do it. Let's take some phone calls. Kayla Greco-Rosenberg and you. The trade deadline is 6 p.m. tomorrow, so we'll be all over it throughout the show. We have Buster Only on at 5:30 today, so that's good as well. And let's go to the phones. Let's go to Steve in Mayapack. Steve.
Hi, Mike. Hi, guys.
Hello, Steve.
Michael, I got a question on I know tomorrow is the 6 o'clock deadline, but we've had a 2-year deadline with this guy, Cashman. I mean, this is the same lineup I saw in 2022, Michael. There's still no left fielder. There's still no third baseman. And when I called you, you tell me that the third baseman has 9 home runs. Now you're telling us that the whole team sucks.
I didn't say that.
When are you going to tell us?
I didn't say that,
I don't
Steve.
think he said that.
You heard me say that?
I wish he did.
Yeah,
but
no,
he didn't.
He didn't.
Yeah, well, you didn't say the word I used, but you started to agree with me that.
No, I never agree with you. I think you're out of your mind. I don't agree with you ever.
Ever.
But I just told you that if Rizzo doesn't hit, and LeMahieu doesn't hit, and Stanton doesn't hit, no one should ever pitch the Judge and have no chance. Then that's what I told you. So I don't know how many times do I have to say that Brian Cashman's big mistake this year, going into the season without a left fielder, that's professional malpractice. And how many times do I have to say, how many times do they want me to say it? That the trade with Minnesota, getting Josh Donaldson, is one of the worst trades he's ever made. I don't know how many times I have to say it. It's like every time I say it, it's like I didn't say it before. How many times is enough?
Well, you're killing him. You see what you're doing to him?
I don't know. That guy, Steve, is so annoying. First of all, he has an annoying voice. And then he puts things into my mouth that, other than phlegm, I don't have.
But they want you to say Cashman should be fired. And I would like to know what those serious questions are going to be if they don't make the playoffs. Because I'm sorry, you can't tell me about injuries if you got Judge healthy for the last 50-plus games of the season and you're 3 games out in the loss column. If these guys don't hit, if LeMahieu doesn't hit and Rizzo doesn't hit, there's got to be some accountability for that. I don't know if anybody's going to lose their job. I would like to think, Michael, there'd be some sort of a conversation. Do we want to continue doing it this way? There's got to be a different way to do it.
The Michael Kay Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael Kay Show. We thank you for joining.
All right, is this working for us?
If you're not going to change the personnel, Michael, can you at least have a conversation with the personnel that maybe the way we're going about it isn't the best way? Because you can't just say blanket analytics. Nobody's saying to give up on the analytics. That'd be foolhardy. Everybody does the analytics. But clearly, the way they're doing it isn't working.
It's going to be interesting, though, Don, because they believe in what they're doing. And as I said, you would not get one of them to say they did anything wrong this year.
Well, then that's when the owner has to say.
Well, but I think Hal believes in it, too.
Well, then stop coming on the air and telling us everything's okay. If you're telling us everything is okay, then you're fine with just being competitive every single year. But if you really, honestly, and truly want to win a championship, tell me this is working. Because I find it laughable watching the game last night. Oh, Yankees could be dangerous. They get in the playoffs. Why? They won 103 games in 2018. They weren't dangerous. Won 100 games in 2019. Didn't get to a World Series. We're always talking about how dangerous they're going to be. Well, dangerous teams make runs to the World Series. The Phillies went to the World Series last year, for God's sakes. So they must be talking a different language than everybody else. They must be saying it works because it's about the 162 and not everything else.
But I believe that if you asked them about last year, right, when they won 99 games.
99.
They'll say, no, we made the ALCS. If we didn't have injuries, we would have been better.
Well, but you even said, Michael, that even if they were healthy, they're still probably losing to the Astros. They wouldn't have gotten swept.
Right.
But it wasn't a fait accompli. They were terrible in the second half of the season. Astros have had injuries. They're in the playoffs right now.
Terrible injuries. Yordan Alvarez and Jose Altuve. Awful injuries.
So, but that's what I think we're going to get sold here, guys.
You know what worries me, Don? How often Michael speculates that and he speculates this, that inside they're saying, well, if we had just done this, then we would have done this. If so-and-so wasn't hurt, we would have won. We were this pitch away from being this. Is that really what we think the attitude is? Is that the Yankee way?
Well, it must be because actions speak louder than words.
Coulda, woulda. All right, so they got swept in the ALCS last year, right?
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. So if they didn't think if they weren't injured, like if they had Benintendi and if they had LeMahieu and they had Carpenter, they obviously think they would have gone to the World Series. They had to think that. Otherwise, you gave Brian Cashman a 4-year deal. So they didn't think he did anything wrong.
And let's be honest, Michael. If you want to have the conversation about we were banged up, that's why we weren't competitive against the Astros. I mean, it was a pillow fight against Cleveland in the first round. You play anybody else, you might not make it to the league championship series. Let's be honest. 99-win team. They didn't bash the ball against Cleveland. They were lucky they took on a team that couldn't hit any home runs, and they won the series. If it was anybody else, they might have been in big trouble. So you could take that angle as well. But I guess since I don't want to kill Cashman because there's still over 24 hours before the deadline. So you sit there and kill him. Why isn't he doing anything? He might have a big splash here. But if they don't make a major move, I guess what they're telling you is we're cool.
Right. They're saying that these guys have underperformed, and we think that they will catch up to the numbers we think that we have laid out for them. I told you Johnny Brito was in the clubhouse.
Yes.
Well, Marinaccio got optioned. Marinaccio has not pitched nearly as well this year as he did last year.
Nope.
So Marinaccio optioned to AAA. Brito's up here. Does that mean that Severino goes into the bullpen? Let's go to Luke in Rochester. Luke.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm just calling to talk about that whole Aaron Judge, thing last night about him getting sat. I personally think they should have played him, but my big point is if you knew that he was only going to play 2 games in the series,
right,
then left him out on Friday night. So then if it's 1-1 going into Sunday night, he can play in perhaps the biggest rubber match of the season up to this point.
But why would you sit him out the first game he's able to come back? Why would you have even activated him then?
Because you got Garrett Cole going.
Right, so that's what. That's why you played him on Friday, because you want to win the game that Garrett Cole pitches.
Or is it, guys?
No, I know that.
Is it just the fact that he played 2 games? Are we going to see a lot more days off? Is he going to play 2-3 games in a row and then rest again?
Well, you heard what Boone said yesterday, right, Don? He said this is like the 2 games we had would have been 2 games that he played in Scranton or Somerset.
So
he's rehabbing in the big leagues.
Right. So if he didn't play Friday, he would have played. He would have played Saturday and Sunday. Probably would have been off today. I don't think they wanted to play him 3 consecutive. Then they'll build it up. He'll play 3, 4 in a row. But he's still going to get, Michael, what, they got 57 games left?
Mm-hmm.
If they stay in this thing till the bitter end, I could see him sitting maybe 5, 6 games of those 57.
Yeah, because this thing is not healed. And they feel that they push it, it's going to injure it worse. Then they don't have him at all.
Let's see. Then what are you doing? That's tough to be able. They're going to need him.
Paul and Trenton. Paul.
Yeah, Mike. Hey, look. And what you talked about LeMahieu not hitting. LeMahieu was on the bench. He walked 6 times in 2 previous games, and he was on the bench with Judge. He's doing this every time. Not 1, but 2 players, starters, are sitting. You know what? If you want to sit 1 starter, fine. But you can't sit 2 starters every game. He's done this the last 3 or 4 games. And there are just a couple other points. Number 1, with Stanton, I'd rather see him walk to first base, because if he's going to run and then pull something and then not be in there for another month, that's worse.
All right, so I'll let you finish your other point. First of all, I hate to say this, Paul. I agree with you about LeMahieu. Didn't understand why they both sat. Number 2, my question about Stanton is, why, if he runs, is he going to injure himself? He's a healthy 32-year-old man. Why? What's wrong with him?
But Mike, that's how he got out the first time. That's how he got hurt.
No, I get it, but why? But why?
That was in right
Paul,
field.
my question is, why is he like that? What's wrong with him?
Well, some people, I guess, just they can't run. I don't know why. But I'd rather see him walk and at least be playing at the last 40 or 50 games. That's the only thing I would say.
Well, I hear what you're saying, Paul, but, he is on base. Even if he gets on base, he's got to run to third on a single array. Yesterday, he didn't score he just stopped at third. He didn't score a single array. He ended up scoring on a sac fly. But, he's clogging up the bases. I want him in the lineup, too. But my question is, what is wrong with him physically that if he actually runs, he's going to hurt himself? Why? Is he completely healed? Why is he like this? When they got him from Miami, he wasn't like this.
No.
Played 159 games in the outfield. There was no DH. What has happened to him?
Well, it was a long
Why
time.
can't it be fixed?
It was that was 2017 that he was an everyday outfielder. Is it 6 years been that much on him? Or 5.5 years been that much?
Isn't it weird to you though?
No, it's very weird. But is he just because he's got such a ferocious swing, Michael? Is he just built right now, muscular wise, to just hit home runs? And it's come at the expense of him being able to carry that frame
Donnie,
around the bases.
He had 59 home runs and won the MVP, so
Right.
he was the same body then, and at least he ran. And I like this guy. And I think he's handled New York as well as anybody could possibly handle it. But on the last homestand, right, when he scored from first on a double, he couldn't move. He could not go into another gear, so I want to know what's wrong with him. Why is he like this? And on top of that, if he's not injured, which I don't think he is, and he simply can't run, by the way, you have him for 4 more years.
4 years.
4 more years. He's not going to get better.
That's why you're going to be forced to convert Judge, I guess, into a first baseman. Because you can't not have the DH available for 4 years for Judge if he's eventually going to need it. He might need it now.
It's unbelievable.
I just can't believe. This is what's amazing about baseball. It has that same A-Rod feel to it. You remember December 2017, you acquire Stanton. It was like, oh my God. This is Murderer's Row again. This is the M&M boys again. It's not going to be if we win. It's going to be how many we're going to win. And now you fast forward 5.5 years later, Michael, no championships, no World Series. Not even really his fault, but really how landlocked you are by not being able to improve because you've got this contract from this guy who's a 200 hitter, can't play the field, and is guaranteed 1 or 2 IL stints a year. Did you ever think in a million years, Michael, when they got him, that they would be in this state over the last 5.5 going on 6 years?
No, and I'm sure they didn't think it either. Otherwise, I don't think they make the deal.
No, of course they wouldn't.
As great as he's been in the postseason, if they had won 1 championship with him, then you almost say, it was worth it. They haven't They haven't even gone to a World Series with him, so there's no way they make that deal again.
That's why A-Rod ended up working out. But didn't that feel the same way? Did you think that when they acquired A-Rod, going into the 04 season, that they wouldn't win the first 5 years of it? It would take till 09, and then that would be the only one? That's why you don't do these things on paper, analytic people. That's why when you think you got it all figured out, you don't, because that's baseball. Michael talks about that God laughs at people who make plans. The baseball gods laugh at the analytic people because they think they got it figured out, and they don't.
Peter, why don't you tell us about FanDuel?
I love talking about FanDuel.
Udemy. No matter how you say it, it's a top online learning destination with thousands of courses.
Udemy can help you start a new career.
Or just learn something new.
What have you always wanted to learn?
Let's explore your future with Udemy. Programming websites, designing logos, presenting your ideas. Learn the skills you need from thousands of online courses. Udemy.
Everything you love from ShopRite is now in your phone on Instacart. Get free delivery on your first order.
See everything your restaurant can do with tools from Square. Get a POS that connects to a KDS so you can handle orders ASAP. Reach more customers with online ordering and QR codes. Use pocket-sized hardware so you can turn tables faster. And get one account for everything so you can take care of it all and take it easy, too. Get your all-in-one restaurant system and sign up at square.com today.
Look at you, hostess with the mostest.
How does she do it?
But no one knows that earlier today...
It's not finished?
Oh, my.
Oh, come on.
But you kept your cool.
I just planted those!
Sort of. And ordered everything you needed from Lowe's on Instacart. Yeah, look at you. Visit Instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders.
There's an easier way. From little fixes to big projects, taking care of your home is easy with Thumbtack. Download the Thumbtack app and start caring for your home today.
I have lucid dreams almost every night.
I keep thinking I have some kind of double life. Years ago, I came up with the design for a beautiful flowy dress with a pattern made from real flowers. During hard times, I go into survival mode and I have bright dreams every night. Every night, I close my eyes and I find myself inside my brain. I travel through memories in time. I just want to keep dreaming forever.
Street legends are born here. Take it to the hole. My crossover sick, you know I got soul. Watch NYC Summer Hoops live from Gerst Park, streaming on the S app.
Served up in birthday cake.
I'm saving with Liberty Mutual, Mom. They customize your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need. You could save $700 just by switching.
Oh, let me put a reminder on my phone. On the top of the pile.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Itch, itch, scratch, must not itch.
Stop the itch sanity with Cortisone 10 for bug bites, poison ivy, and other itches. Cortisone 10 is #1 doctor recommended. It works fast and lasts for hours. Cortisone 10.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next.
If you don't pick one,
Am I keeping you from your job? Next. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you?
Your electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Ronald Acuna Jr. Binging all his favorite rom-com movies. How did we get here?
You're all set. Refrigerator is fixed.
That's it?
That's it. All done.
Cool. Ronald Acuna Jr. downloaded the new Front Door app to get real-time help from a video expert for his home repair and maintenance needs.
Woo! Let's go!
So all that's left to do is be done. Introducing Front Door, an all-new home repair and maintenance app. Download today.
Salonpas Lidocaine Flex, a super thin, flexible patch with maximum OTC strength lidocaine that contours to the body to relieve pain right where it hurts. And did we mention it really, really sticks? Salonpas, it's good medicine.
It's your journey. Own every mile in the Hyundai Tucson with America's best warranty. Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $249 a month or get 0% APR or $1,500 bonus cash. Hurry in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Still don't have the Yankees starting lineup. Wanted to make a quick point, and these are always difficult points to make because we're part of the company. And I mean ESPN.
Right.
So the news breaks today that Mark Jackson has been let go from ESPN with 2 years remaining on his deal. And that runs right after Jeff Van Gundy was let go. Mm-hmm. I think he had some years left on his deal, too. And I know finances play a role in everything. I get it. I understand what the company's going through. And truly, all three of us, our hearts go out to anyone that lost their jobs. Because there are people that don't have the means and wherewithal of a Van Gundy and Jackson. And don't have the money that they have. Those people are really hurting. But at one point, somebody at ESPN, has to give some kind of detailed reasoning on how you took arguably the best sports booth of any sport, and you dismantled it. Breen, Van Gundy, and Jackson were the best national booth in the country, in any sport.
Yep.
And now it's gone. So I understand people have to lose their jobs, there's cost cutting, I understand all of that. But why choose that route? So, I'm not going to rip anybody. I just think it's curious that you took the best booth and you dismantled it.
I have a theory, Michael, if you want to hear it.
I want to hear it.
And I have also a face to blame. I blame the NBA. If you go back to when NBC wanted to put Mike Tirico on Sunday Night Football. The NFL stepped in and said, no, you're not. We want Al Michaels. And guess what? Al Michaels was calling the games. I have to believe in my heart that the NBA must not have liked how critical those two were about their league. Well, how else would you explain it? Say what you want about ESPN. They're very good at television. And they had to know they had the best booth in the business, the best. And the way the NBA is trending now is LeBron's getting older. You're going to need great broadcasters because once LeBron's gone, who's the next guy? You know, Curry and LeBron are not buying green bananas. So having the best booth in sports still means something. I'm sure ESPN and ABC understood that. And if they didn't, Michael, and ESPN wanted to let them go, wouldn't the NBA, if they really appreciated it, step in and say, no, you're not? If the NFL could do it, I'm sure the NBA could. So I would think it was the NBA not on board with how critical Jeff and Mark were about, you know, the diving and the foul calls and the officiating. And, you know, listen, Jeff was very, very poignant on our air about how concerned he was about the regular season. Is it as easy as that? Is it that short-sighted that they couldn't stand up for guys that were being honest about the sport they were broadcasting for? What do they want, shills? Because I'll tell you, they'll never get a better booth. They'll never be able to match that booth. And that's no offense to the guys that are going to replace them. I'm sure Doc Rivers is going to do a great job.
And Doris Burke.
And Doris Burke's going to do a great job. I'm a fan of both of their work. But this was the best booth in the business. Better than the NHL, better than any of the NFL teams, better than anything baseball presents on a national level. And to break it up to me is complete ignorance. And I can't imagine I work for a company that would be that short-sighted unless it was the NBA's call. And that's the only thing that makes sense to me because I'm sure they don't like their sport to be criticized.
I mean, I will say, of all everything's been sad that we've seen in the business and in our company over the last couple months, the great people we've seen go. This one probably surprised me the most. The only other thing it would lead you to think, guys, is that we've heard the rumblings of NBC getting the NBA back. And we just started, maybe you think, oh, ESPN's not going to renew the NBA deal. But then you hear the news that they're hiring Doc Rivers and Doris Burke is getting her much-deserved promotion to the A booth. Yes. And now you're like, oh, well, they're not losing the NBA then. So, yeah, it is fascinating. And it's, you know, it's interesting. I have always, I think like many others, believe the best part of broadcasting when it comes to the NBA is the inside the NBA crew. But that's a studio show. No one calls a game better than those three did. It felt big time. The last 15 years, the sound of the marquee NBA moments is the voices of that booth.
It's something you want to hold on to.
I mean, we love them. It's better than Buck and Aikman. It's better than Romo and Nance. It's better than any Stanley Cup booth. All due respect to everyone. Better than Joe Davis and John Smoltz. Oh, great. That was the best major sports booth.
Michael,
and now it's been dismantled.
I am confident that the individuals you mentioned would agree. Everybody that calls their sport would agree. I mean, there was a special chemistry that they had that made people want to watch. And you know how I feel about announcers. Listen, if the game is compelling, does it matter? But on that kind of a level, it does. Especially when you don't know what direction the league is going into.
One thing I would like to say about this as we close this off, and by the way, Burrito's starting tonight. That's why he was in the clubhouse. There's a physical issue with Domingo Germán. And we'll have the Yankee lineup when we come back at 4. But so there are a lot of radio and TV critics, right? Mm-hmm. And they love to write, oh, you got to rip the league. You know, you got to rip the league. You got to call it out. You know, say that Goodell is this and say that. Where are those people now that Van Gundy and Jackson lost their job because they might have been over-the-top critical? Where are they now? So it's so easy for these keyboard warriors to want you to destroy the people that pay your salary, but at some point, anybody can get fired. So is Jeff Van Gundy a hero that died on that hill? So you might have gotten the favor of everybody who critiques radio and TV, but where are they now? What will they do for Jeff Van Gundy? And I'm not saying you shouldn't be honest, but there is a level to the criticism that you can level against the league. And when you do, your job's in jeopardy because it shows you nobody is immune, nobody has Teflon or is made of Teflon, that when the league wants you to go, you're going. Again, where are those radio and TV columnists at? What are they going to do for Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson?
I know. What's the payoff?
There is no payoff. The payoff is you lost your job. All right, Yankee lineup when we get back. I'm sorry to see the boot of Breen, Van Gundy, and Jackson not exist anymore. I'm just thrilled that Mike Breen is still there.
Yes.
And we'll be back in just a moment. But first, Don has to tell us about Caesars.
I'm Laura Micheal, the Chief of Staff at Hawk Media, and before we were using ClickUp, we were on a tool that was very inflexible. It wasn't allowing us to get the work done that we needed to for our clients at an okay pace for us. Since coming into ClickUp, we've seen an increase in productivity across the board. Specifically, our executive team decreased delays by about 70% in our first year using the tool. I can honestly say that with ClickUp's transparency and ease of use, our team has never been more productive.
To succeed in the markets is more difficult than the Olympics.
People play games like GameStop.
The goal is not your personal excitement.
Wall Street makes things very complicated, but it doesn't have to be that way.
People come to me all the time asking, what does the future hold? My answer often surprises them.
Away makes luggage that fits together with 360-degree wheels to glide through whatever. So while we help you navigate the new, all you need to worry about is taking in the view. Ready for everywhere. Away.
Can a handyman fix my leaky faucet?
How much does it cost to have my HVAC checked?
How do I know I have mold?
What do water pipes break?
Home questions don't have to keep you up at night. Get peace of mind with Thumbtack. We'll connect you with local pros for any home project, from a small fix to a big remodel. See transparent prices, read verified reviews, and book with just a tap. Thumbtack, the easy way to care for your home.
Having those high interest credit cards, it felt unmanageable. My name is Belinda, and with Upstart, I was able to save money with a personal loan. From the moment that I checked my rate to getting that approval was just a few minutes. I felt relieved having the funds in my account so quickly. I was able to turn all of those, big payments into one small payment, and I was able to breathe.
Easy online borrowing. Personal loans up to $50,000. Go to upstart.com.
Udemy. No matter how you say it, it's a top online learning destination with thousands of courses.
Around the world, we're helping people achieve their goals.
I learned Python and became a software engineer.
Udemy can help you start a new career.
Or just learn something new.
Whatever you want to learn, discover the perfect course for your goal.
Udemy.
What have you always wanted to learn?
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
Intuitive sit to start in the all-electric ID4. It's the little things. It's a VW. Visit your Volkswagen dealer today and lease the all-electric 2023 ID4 Pro for just $349 a month. Limited inventory available.
America, come along with our adventure seekers, the Sanchez family, and discover summer with the Ford F-150. See how available features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist make backing up as easy as turning a knob. Watch as Pro Power on board lights up the night. And Ford Blue Cruise makes driving even more fun. Now get an F-150 or F-150 Lightning with 3.9% financing for 60 months plus $1,500 bonus cash. View more offers at buyfordnow.com.
Let's do it.
Get your heart pumping with Well Life NYC on the Yes app. Take a tour of the hottest gyms.
I love to have fun when I work out.
And the coolest places to chill around New York.
First, I'm going to be freezing at negative 200 degrees.
Watch Well Life NYC, streaming now exclusively on the Yes app.
What's up, everybody? Chef Marcus Sampson here on Home Plate New York on the Yes app.
From pinstripes to chef whites, Yankee stars take to the kitchen and explore some of their favorite New York cuisine. Plus, celebrities, athletes, and icons join Marcus at some of the hottest tables in town. Check out Home Plate New York, streaming now on the Yes app.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Let me give you the Yankees starting lineup tonight against the Rays on 98.7 ESPN, brought to you by Bigelow Tea and Corona. Gleyber Torres will lead off and play second. Aaron Judge, the DH, bats second. Hitting third, playing first base, Anthony Rizzo. Giancarlo Stanton's in right field cleaning up. I just got the stat off of X. Last 350 plate appearances for Giancarlo Stanton. Hitting 189. DJ LeMahieu at third base will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing left field, Jake Bowers. Harrison Bader in center. Going to bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Anthony Volpe. And batting ninth and catching, it's Ben Rortvedt. That's tonight's Yankees starting lineup, brought to you by Bigelow Tea. Bigelow Tea is a proud supporter of the Michael K. Show and the official hot tea of the New York Yankees. And Corona, enjoy the finer life of sports. Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball.
And JM on social media. I can't.
You can't say X.
I don't want to do it.
Wait, is it officially X?
Yes.
Yeah, so look at your app. It's changed. The bird is gone.
The birdie's gone. Everything.
Oh my God, this is really over.
It's like, and I'm not used to it. I'm flipping around my phone, and I can't find Twitter. That's because it's not Twitter anymore. But anyway, he says, per MLB Network, Giancarlo Stanton over the last 350 games, WAR is 4.7.
350 games.
Yeah, since 2019, he has a 4.7 WAR. So look into that, because if that's factual, again, WAR, what is it good for?
Wow, X. I didn't know it happened.
Oh yeah,
Where have you been?
I just don't know the last time I saw a brand that was like doing fine just get piece by piece dismantled like this. So odd.
Yeah, maybe it's time. What do you say? Me and you. We'll do.
Oh, we already missed it. No, Don. At this point, we might as well sit here until we're completely engulfed in flames. Because we had the chance to get out when it was still something to do.
We could have done the Thelma and Louise.
We didn't, and we didn't. Now we sat here, and the smoke is going up. We're like that little meme of the dog typing with the fire. Now it's already happened, and we're here still.
All right, let me give you the deadline update brought to you by Jackpot.
Oh, they're selling.
All right, so Aaron Savali, who still has 2 years left of control after this one, traded by the Guardians to the Rays, who are in town for this 3-game set, and they sent their prospect first baseman Manzardo was his name to Cleveland. I wonder if Cleveland's giving up trading a guy like Aaron Savali. So he's gone, and he joins Tampa Bay, who's trying to hang in there despite having an awful July. And the big deadline move, bigger than David Robertson, was Max Scherzer got traded.
Yeah.
And they got Ronald Acuna Jr.'s brother, Luis Angel, who immediately moves to the #1 spot in the Mets prospect list. And the Mets are eating a lot of the money that's remaining. Don, did it surprise you that there was a taker for Scherzer?
That's why I'm shocked. I thought Verlander would be the guy because he's pitched so well over his last 8-9 outings, and because of his pedigree recently, that they would get a lot for him, and maybe they still will. But I didn't think anybody would take Scherzer. Michael, it didn't end well in Los Angeles. It didn't end well last year with the Mets. It wasn't really trending that great this year, although he did have a good win-loss record. But still, I was shocked. I know Texas is all in, but I'm really surprised that they were able to get something for him. So good job out of Epler being able to move. I know they ate a lot of salary, but who cares with the money that they have? I'm shocked that they were able to move him.
So he had a 9-4 record, 4.01 ERA, 121 strikeouts in 107 and 2/3 innings this year with the Mets.
A lot of home runs.
98 hits and a whip of 1.19. Gave up a lot of home runs, though. But, he's a tough dude, and we'll see what he can do for Texas. And it's funny, Texas signs Jacob deGrom, and then essentially brings in one of the guys that replaced deGrom, although while deGrom was still there. And now Max Scherzer joins the Rangers, who are certainly going for it.
Yeah, they got Montgomery,
and now Jeff
too,
Passan
right?
is reporting that the Padres are really interested in Verlander, as are the Dodgers. Now, the Astros are also interested, Don, but I don't know if the Astros are a fit for the Mets because the Astros do not have one prospect in the top 100 prospects for Baseball America.
Wow.
So why would the Mets make that deal unless the Astros eat up all the salary. I don't think they will, because not only do they have to pay him $43.3 million next year, if he finishes next year not on the IL and a certain amount of innings, which are eminently reachable, another year kicks in at $35 million. Now, one other thing I'd say, too. So the Mets have given up on the season after taking 3 out of 4 from the Nationals. If you trade Verlander, are you giving up on next year, too?
You tell me what free agents are available, unless you're just going to go out and just replace everybody with a free agent.
Urias is available,
right.
The Dodgers starter. Giolito.
I mean, these are not.
No, they're not Justin Verlander.
They're not Verlander or what you thought you were getting from Scherzer. And they don't have anybody coming up, Michael, that can jump right in to the rotation as a 1 or 2 guy.
Oh, boy.
Let me ask you this, Michael, because I don't think money is really an issue. So, like, you could trade him to the Astros and say the Astros don't take his entire salary. But that would be good. During the Wilpon era, that would be gold. Gold, Jerry. But now with the money Cohen has, I'd rather trade him to the Dodgers, get prospects, and eat the money. What do I care about the money? I want to be able to rebuild my farm system. That's supposed to be.
And I think Verlander, seeing the writing on the wall, almost said the same thing as Scherzer did before he was on his way out. You know, if you're not going to compete in 2024, I don't want to be here. I mean, he's 40 years old. What's the good of it being on a team that's rebuilding? And one thing I will say, I give Cohen credit because he said this money is already spent anyway. But if you're bailing on next year, then all that tough talk when you bought the team, a championship in the first 3 to 5 years, it's not happening because, Don, they're not even close to the Braves. And the Braves have their entire roster, the important guys signed forever.
And I'm wondering, Michael, you know, Cohen was talking the big talk like any owner is going to say. But I'm sure he's had dialogue with Stearns. If Stearns is going to be the next guy, what if Stearns is telling him, in order to make this work, where the Braves are locked in, we're going to have to rebuild.
But you know what? Epler did say we don't have the stomach for a 5 or 6 year rebuild.
Well, but it doesn't have to be 5 or 6 years.
I mean, to be miserable.
Because you do have the ability, more so than the Braves even, to be able to get free agents. I mean, Lindor's not going anywhere. Alonso's not going anywhere. So you have players, even if you got rid of Verlander, you have the ability via free agent or shrewd trades to be able to make it quicker than 5, 6 years. It might be a couple of years, but maybe not that long.
That even being the conversation is so depressing.
Well, you need a bit.
You were supposed to be competing for a championship this year.
Right.
Now we're talking about how many years the rebuild's going to be.
Well,
that is a nightmare.
But think about it, Peter. You're bringing in a new head of baseball operations, which we all agree is going to be the guy that's making all of the key decisions for this franchise. What if Cohen talked to Epstein? What if he talked to Stearns and they all said, "Listen, what you got going isn't working. If I'm going to come in there, I'm blowing it up." Is he gonna stick with Epler and just stick to the plan, or is he really going to commit to bringing in a baseball guy? Because maybe baseball people look at this and don't see it being sustainable.
I don't think that he would sign up for blowing it up and not being competitive for 3 or 4. I don't see it.
Well, meaning blowing it up's wrong because again, you're going to pay Alonso. He's not going anywhere. Lindor's not going anywhere. I mean, you still have good young play. The baby Mets are still a part of this thing. That if you're going to hold on to those guys. And then you just make some shrewd moves here where, yeah, you're not going to be competitive in 2024, but maybe 25, 26. I don't think anybody wants to have a 5-year rebuild, but does it have to take that long? If you've got the money, Michael, and some young players already on your roster with a couple of really good guys that are supposed to be studs, at least they're going to be paid like it in Lindor and Alonso, why would it take 5 years?
Let's listen to Jeff Passan on SportsCenter, and he said, hey, the Mets are tearing this down.
You could see Justin Verlander potentially move. Tommy Pham is a guy who could be going. In the bullpen, there's an array of options. The Mets are tearing this thing down right now. I think they want to wipe 2023 from their memory. And when you're going out and trading for young prospects like they did in the Robertson deal, and for someone like Acuna, who's probably a year or so away from the big league still, the focus may be even more on 2025 and 26 now than it is 2024.
Well, I mean, I'd love to hear from Met fans. I mean, are you okay with that?
Yes. I am.
I mean, you got an owner who has so much money, you should be able to buy through having bad years.
But I don't want to buy through anything. I want to be able to have good baseball people involved. And if you're telling me Stearns is the guy, and that you believe that he's a good baseball person, and am I willing to sacrifice 2024 to be what the Atlanta Braves have become in 25 and 26? Yes. So nobody wants to a 5-6 year rebuild.
But that's no guarantee either.
But again,
that's true.
Nothing's guaranteed. Obviously, the money that you spend, Peter, having the highest payroll in the history of team sports in North America, didn't work. Nothing's a guarantee. But what I don't want is bringing in what they did, a bunch of aging players making tons of money to try to go for it in the now. Take a look at the teams that are successful. They're all young, athletic, locking up those players early. Right? Honestly, you're doing it the Yankee way, where every year is supposed to be the year, then you end up falling short and then really paying the piper down the road. I mean, I've been patient for a long time, but if I believe in the baseball people, am I willing to sacrifice a year or two to then become special? Yes, I am.
It does show you, though, that the initial Cohen plan didn't work, because he felt that blowing through the Cohen tax and spending all this money would buy out the pain of having to rebuild the farm system. Well, it didn't work. So now you're not going to have winning going along as they're resetting and building the farm system. The Dodgers did. The Dodgers are able to do it. So, and another thing that's curious to me, if you're going to bring in the new head of baseball operations, why are you letting Epler make these very important deals?
I have to believe that Stearns is involved in this in some way.
No, it can't be. Can't be. It can't be.
You say you can't be, but why can't you?
Because you could lose so much if you get caught.
You're telling me that every July 1st in the NBA and the NHL, guys are making life decisions of where they're going to spend the next decade of their life 1 minute past the deadline.
No, but that's a wink thing. This is a serious issue. He still works for the Brewers.
Right.
I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying that I believe it's right. But why would I be allowing Epler to make these decisions unless I know the next guy who's coming in here? And let's face it, the reason he hasn't hired the head of baseball operations is the guy he wants is still under contract. So that's why everybody's looking at Stearns. So as soon as his contract is up at the end of this year, he's going to become the guy. You don't think there's some kind of communication, as illegal as it would be, to make sure that he's on board? Otherwise, why would you let him make these life-changing decisions? So what? So you bring in the guy that's going to – why did you do that?
I honestly don't think they're in communication with Stearns. It's too risky. It's just too risky.
There's no world in which they're still actually down with Epler?
Well, I think Epler's going to be part of it, but there's going to be a guy above him who's going to make the decisions. Epler's going to carry out that guy's decisions and make the due diligent phone calls. But Epler's not going to be deciding on, the future.
Well, I get it, though, but if he's still going to be a part of this, they're in a really bad circumstance right now, Don. Maybe there is a world in which they're like, hey, we need you to change course, but we still have to trust you to do certain things here.
Here's again, I don't think there's any text messages, emails, or even phone conversations make this deal. Of course not. It's too risky. But there's information that you know. You know that he probably wants to keep Epler on his staff. So you know the next head of baseball operations trusts Epler. All right? So that helps. And then maybe he knows that the next baseball guy is going to be on board with blowing it up. Maybe he just told him, hey, I'll take the job. You got to let me blow this up.
I believe, Don, that Steve Cohen is willing to blow it up. He's not going to go into next year expecting to lose.
All right, but I'm sure he's been told, look at the teams that are winning. Look at the young players they have under contract. Look what's happening to the Yankees. Look what's happening to the Padres. Teams that have all tried to be all in every year. But look at the Braves. Look at the Rays. Look at what the Astros have been able to do. Granted, they had to tank to get there. But you don't have to tank, Steve, because you've got the money.
All he has to do is look across the river, though, because the Yankees make the playoffs every year. It can be done.
It can be done, but maybe he looks at the Yankees and goes, yeah, it can be done making the playoffs every year, but I want to be special. I want to win a title. I want to win a bunch of titles.
Well,
I want young guys under contract.
He wants to be the Dodgers, right?
Right.
And the Dodgers have a great farm system, great player development.
Right.
And they have never won a World Series since 1988.
Okay. No, nothing
except for the COVID season.
Right, and nothing's guaranteed, Michael, because we're talking about the Braves being the team. They've only won once since '95. Right? Nobody is running off a bunch of championships anymore. But the one thing you want to have, you don't want to be an aging team. You don't want to be relying on one guy. All right, the Dodgers already had the minor league system. The Mets didn't have the minor league system. So that's probably why they got to throw a year away to make it happen. But everybody's got the Braves envy. I want a young team with controllable deals that I can have forever. Then I could pay the money, and then I could sprinkle in big-time free agents with the money that I have. I'm not in for a 4 or 5 year rebuild. But if I'm in for 1 year to reset it with a new head of baseball operations who knows what he's doing, and let's be honest, guys, it'd be the first time they've had somebody who knew what they were doing in a long time. The last 3 general managers had no clue. Zero. Epler was still better than the last few guys that they had running baseball operations. And if you trust the guy and you believe by 25, 26, you could be a special team that can compete every single year with young players, with an owner that can spend with anybody to add the free agents to be the spackle instead of building the team through free agency, that's what I want. And am I willing to take a year? Absolutely.
Well, that's the deadline.
I don't want to be the Yankees, honestly.
That's the deadline update brought to you by Jackpocket. Powerball 74 million. Mega Millions is 1.05 billion. Play official state lottery games on your phone with Jackpocket. Download the Jackpocket app. Get your first ticket free using code ESPN. 18 or older you have to be. And if you have a gambling problem in New York, call 1-877-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. In New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER. See jackpocket.com/TOS for terms. Let's go to the phone, see what you're thinking. Let's go to Mike in Yonkers. Mike.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Mike.
With all due respect, I disagree with Don that the Mets should never have thrown this season away so soon. You get rid of arguably your best relief pitcher who was doing a great job. Scherzer, he's 9-4. Don said it, he's 9-4. How many pitchers are 9-4 in the league? And Verlander's coming around. And in another fact, the American League wild card race is much harder than the National League. You got genuine teams, Toronto, Tampa Bay, Houston, the Yankees. In the National League, any one or all of those teams can break down at any time. The Mets get 1 or 2 hot weeks. They could be right in the playoff race. This was a disgraceful move, and as a Met fan, I am PO'd about it.
Well, you know what, Mike? I can't say you're dead wrong. We thought it was, we thought at least they should wait out the weekend.
Yeah.
And you know what happened over the weekend? Verlander pitched the way he should. Scherzer pitched the way he should. They did lose on Saturday, won 3 out of 4.
Right. And you
now they have Kansas City coming up starting tomorrow. But unfortunately for them, they had to make a decision before Tuesday at 6, and I think they made the wrong decision. I would have wrote it out.
I would have wrote it out just to see if I can get more for Robertson. Because what I'm upset about is they didn't get a lot. They got guys that are years away from really being able to contribute. Unless those pieces get used in a deal down the road, we'll see. And then maybe you could have gotten more had you waited. But guys, if they waited, how would the situation change? They won 3 out of 4 from the Nationals, gained a half game. Still behind the Padres, still behind the Cubs, still behind the Diamondbacks, still behind the Phillies before they can get to the Brewers at the wild card. I disagree with the caller. The season was lost. So I would have waited to try to get more. But, Michael, what good would have waited? They're off today. The deadline's at 6 tomorrow. What would have changed? Took 3 out of 4 over the weekend and still gained only a half game.
I got to tell you, though, had I known it was this level of blow-up we were talking about, and Michael, that we were going to be sitting here, I know, like last week when you brought it up, I was like, yeah, right, they're not going to do anything, they're not going to do anything. But had I known that in 4 days we'd be talking about literally getting rid of everything that's not stuck to the ground, I think I would have been thinking, all right, let's try to do what we can here. I didn't know it was going to be a fire sale. This is
we don't know. They might hold on to Verlander, and now obviously this season is over. Season was going to be over anyway. Question is Verlander gone? And if for the right pieces, maybe it's right.
Dan in Astoria.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Not bad at all. I mean, pretty bad, actually. You know, the Mets Going into this season, we're the most bet team to win the World Series, and we're sitting here day away from August, the beginning of August, and we're 7 games out selling the entire team. I don't really understand how Billy Epler got to spend the most money any team has ever spent in the history of baseball, and they're 7 games out at this point, and he's still going to have a job at the end of this year. Do you think he's, like, promising to Steve Cohen that Ohtani's in play? Like, I don't really understand how, as a GM, the job he's done thus far warrants him to keep being the GM of the Mets.
Well, it scares me a little bit, Dan, but, you know, sometimes GMs take the hit for what owners want to do. You know, that's why I always feel a little bit hinky about blaming the GM totally, because the GM's carrying out the orders of the owners. So, why didn't they get this free agent? Maybe the owner said no. Why did they sign this guy? Maybe the owner said, I want him. Maybe Steve Cohen said, go out and get Verlander and go out and get Scherzer. Maybe that was Steve Cohen.
I'm sure it was.
So since Billy has been, exacting the orders of Steve Cohen, why would Steve Cohen get rid of him? It would be disingenuous.
Now, I would not be surprised, Michael, if Stearns comes over, is the head of baseball operations, and Epler stays on as GM. But Stearns is going to be the one that's pulling all the strings.
Yeah.
He just might like Epler's scouting. He might like his baseball acumen, but the guy that's really going to be in charge hasn't been hired yet. But he might like Epler, and I wouldn't be surprised if Epler's still the GM.
Now, at the Beach Bash, Don, and we'll get your answer when we get back. At the Beach Bash this year, which for some reason I was not involved in, maybe I was suspended, you did say the Mets not making the playoffs would be the biggest failure in New York sports history.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it when we get back. Do you really want to take shots the rest of your life?
You definitely do not need to go to business school to become more successful.
Great negotiation is about great collaboration.
Pull the plug. Fire faster.
No matter what you do, you are in sales.
Don't worry, we've got your butt covered. Udemy.
No matter how you say it, it's the top online learning destination with thousands of courses.
Around the world, we're helping people achieve their goals.
I learned Python and became a software engineer.
Udemy can help you start a new career.
Or just learn something new.
Whatever you want to learn, discover the perfect course for your goal.
Udemy.
What have you always wanted to learn?
Look at you, hostess with the mostest.
How does she do it?
But no one knows that earlier today...
It's not finished?
Oh my.
Oh, come on.
But you kept your cool.
I just planted those?
Sort of. And ordered everything you needed from Lowe's on Instacart. Yeah, look at you. Visit Instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first 3 orders.
Having those high interest credit cards, it felt unmanageable. My name is Belinda, and with Upstart, I was able to save money with a personal loan. From the moment that I checked my rate to getting that approval was just a few minutes. I felt relieved having the funds in my account so quickly. I was able to turn all of those, big payments into one small payment, and I was able to breathe.
Easy online borrowing. Personal loans up to $50,000. Go to Upstart.com.
Tired of pointless meetings?
So in this meeting, we're going to plan the next meeting to schedule other meetings.
There is nothing more pointless than unproductive meetings.
What about watching grass grow?
Nope.
What about pushing the crosswalk button repeatedly?
Nope.
What about bringing sand to the beach?
Nope. Thanks to ClickUp, now all of our communication and work is in one place. It allows our team to collaborate remotely and finish projects faster.
ClickUp, all your work in one place.
Trick plays, and if ever local hero, national champ, now he's home and expected to save the back and continue to go forward with hope as the plan.
What's up, guys? I wish this was in person so I could buy each and one of you a beer or something. This is the last play of the game. Hey guys, am I dreaming or can we
Away luggage comes in a range of colors and styles, and our suitcases are made to last a while. So at the end of the day, you can be here while away. Ready for everywhere. Away.
Even you. So what does it take to make sure you're in the right hands? It takes MSK. We specialize in more than 400 different types of cancer, including the most important one, yours. Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, because where you're treated first matters. Call 833-737-0404 or visit msk.org/together.
Ever wonder why Kit Kats are so delightfully crispy? There's your answer. 1, 2, 3. Tasty wafers covered in creamy milk chocolate. Isn't it nice wafers are having their moment? Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Add mint to the moment with Mint Duos.
I see how Pro starts working instantly with 2 max strength pain relievers. So you can rise from pain like a pro. Icy Hot Pro.
America, come along with our adventure seekers, the Sanchez family, and discover summer with the Ford F-150. See how available features like Pro Trailer Backup Assist make backing up as easy as turning a knob. Watch as Pro Power on board lights up the night. And Ford Blue Cruise makes driving even more fun.
Now we're cruising.
Now get an F-150 or F-150 Lightning with 3.9% financing for 60 months plus $1,500 bonus cash. View more offers at buyfordnow.com.
Drizzly makes it easy to shop a huge selection of beer, wine, and liquor from wherever I am. I just open the app, find what I want, and it's at my door in under 60 minutes.
Drizzly.
Ding dong, Drizzly.
You're watching Yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
You could pick from hundreds of law firms for your mesothelioma or asbestos lung cancer case. But would you be confident that you made the best choice? Whites & Luxembourg is the firm that has represented more.
2023 ID4 Pro for just $349 a month. Limited inventory available.
There are moments in life where you have to step up to the plate.
Crowd of 44,000, sounding like the Bronx in here.
And make the most of your opportunity.
High fly ball! See ya!
How you like me now?
Live in the moment.
And the Yankees pull victory from the jaws of defeat.
And find the courage to face your biggest challenge.
Oh, yes! We on a whole nother level now. We about to turn it up. Bottom of the ninth. Giancarlo Stanton. See ya! A walk-off grand slam. We gonna turn it up. I've been getting a lot of these awards every single day. I don't think it's fair to Don and Peter. Well, Peter didn't have many entries today, but Don.
Well, no, actually, you know what? Yeah, that's not right. You know why it's not right? Because today, of course, isn't a day where I'm going to offer the most between the three of us. But I'll offer that the times I jumped in were very effective.
I'm not criticizing you. I love when you don't talk. Enter the ESPN New York no-hitter sweepstakes for your chance to win $25,000. Find the no-hitter tile on the ESPN New York app. Pick a team and submit your entry. Today's qualifier is Paul Trentini from Smithtown, New York, who was chosen New York's American League team to throw a no-hitter today. Presented by MoheganSunCasino.com. For full contest rules, go to ESPNNewYork.com. I do have some terrible news, though. E&M will not be on TV today.
Come on. Wake up.
It's a big game.
Wake up,
Yankees, Tampa Bay. Got to have a BP show.
No.
Pre-game show. Lot on the line here.
Wait, so they don't do it for the first game of a road series?
Because everything's set up at home. It's hard to do the setup on the road.
This is unfortunate and sad.
But I'm going to tell you why it's not unfortunate, Peter.
Go ahead.
Because there's a way to consume ENN. It's not like you're just going to broadcast into the ether. Go buy a radio and boom.
Radio. Or download the ESPN New York app.
It's the easiest thing you can do. If you know how to chew, you can do it.
If you know how to chew, you can do it. That's the title of his 5th book.
Oh, man, this is really sad news.
What happened?
the actor from Euphoria, Angus Cloud, died. Do you see that?
No.
25 years old.
What?
And yeah, not a show. The show. So I sort of hate watch it. It started to like get so crazy and over the top. It annoyed me. But he was always such a riveting character. Like you sort of got the impression he wasn't really acting. He was just this guy. But if you guys ever end up watching the show, he's like the short-haired drug dealer on the show, and he's just a riveting character. 25 years old, so sad.
A little too quick to go. Let's go to Manny in New Jersey. Manny.
Hey, how's it going, gentlemen?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So, Mike, something you guys haven't brought up, and I might be spitballing here, but the night Diaz went down with that injury, it felt like the air out of a balloon coming out. Like, that's what it felt that night, one. And two, the entire Met infield was part of the World Baseball Classic, if I remember correctly. And for a team who's not as talented as a team like the Braves or the Astros, the Mets might have needed those extra 2 weeks.
You know what, Manny? I think that's not just a good point. It's an excellent one. Lazy Mary, also on Twitter or X, brought that up. And I just remember we talked about it. There was no continuity, so that's why a guy like Steve Gelb said it just felt different from the very beginning. Goodbye to Yes, but stay right here on 98.7. Maybe that had something to do.
That's all for the Michael K. Show for tonight. Coming up next, all of our coverage begins as the Yankees take on the Rays at the stadium. We're back tomorrow at 3 right here on Yes. Have a great night, everybody.
We just signed the lease on our